edition. The free agency fallout edition. The countdown to the most important Packers edition without Jason Wilde, who wrote the articles, but with Brian Bulaga and Homer, who are scheduled to appear. The Jesse and Old T edition. Can I say it's my favorite editions when it's that?
You can do whatever you want.
It's not really true. I like when we're at full strength, but these can be fun sometimes. Of Wilde and Tausch, 94.5 ESPN
Were you looking
Milwaukee.
for me to say, yes, Jesse, these are the best of the best?
I don't know what I was looking for there, I suppose, because there was kind of that set you up for a lose-lose, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. The ESPN Wisconsin app, live video streaming on YouTube, as well as on the Wilde and Tausch Twitter feed and Facebook page. No Jason Wilde today or tomorrow. He is on assignment, set to return for the annual State of the Packers show this Saturday at Summerfest on ESPN Wisconsin, starting at noon. Big Saturday afternoon out at Summerfest with Gabe Neitzel and Alex Strouf. So in the interim, I am Jesse Nelson, normally the producer of this fine program. Today I slide over into the host chair here in the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison, where I am joined by cousin sub of the day, Riley Yauk, producing the show. Good morning, Riley.
Good morning, Jesse.
Can we see Riley on the video stream?
Not yet.
Well, he's got the old school Packers Super Bowl champion shirt, and I believe the last time that the NFL did the logo right. It's so boring and bland now. They put some New Orleans flair in the Super Bowl logo, and it's so much better. I don't know why they ever went away from that, because that's that shirt's 40 years old. Well,
yeah,
it was the original.
Pretty close.
But why would they
30,
ever go away from that to this block blech? I don't understand. I don't know why.
Packers Steelers first Super Bowl to have the new style of logo. 45.
I feel like it was before that it got real bland.
It got more bland, but the current silver.
For a league that is always looking to be cutting edge and more uniform options and all this stuff, why would they revert with that? Does that make any sense?
I think it's marketing based would be my guess, because then they can print shirts and they can put it on merchandise and things a lot easier than customizing.
That's literally on a shirt.
Yeah,
and I've seen it on a hat.
I know that's the old that's the old days of doing it. It takes more to do. Like they can make stuff a bunch in advance.
It's easier to make stuff now than it was then. You have 3D printers. They're making stuff out of thin air basically, and you're telling me they can't do that because it's easier to do it with block? I'm sorry, that makes no sense.
I think so. I'm just trying. I like the other logos, just for the record. I'm just trying to come up with the reasons why they would do this. My other guess would be the NFL likes uniformity and making the Super Bowl have its own brand.
Why are they making different jerseys then, and you can do throwbacks, and they're having you do all this other fun, unique stuff, and they're letting them do cleats. They're actually uniformity. They're actually going away from uniformity.
I don't know why they would do it. I think they should. I agree. It's more fun when the Super Bowls have customizable logos, and you have the Super Bowl Mardi Gras style, and you have the there was a USA themed one, I think, when there was all kinds of fun stuff. That makes more sense. I agree.
Yeah, I know, having dabbled in graphic design and attempting to learn how to make logos.
Dabbler, aren't you? What else are you dabbling in?
Graphic design, a little more than dabbling. I worked for UW Athletics as a graphic designer for a period of time in college.
Well beyond dabbling.
Yeah. And
what? Give us something that you did over there.
Yeah, what'd you make?
All right, so for the Wisconsin Notre Dame football.
I'm going to say this before you even get into this. You're the most interesting cat in this office, by far. All right, continue.
All right. So for the Wisconsin Notre Dame Shamrock Series game back in 2021, I was charged with making
fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was a tough day.
I was glad I was unable to watch that game, but I was charged with making some phone wallpapers for
phone wallpaper.
The social media team to put out. Okay. So we had a couple, one with the uniform elements from their forward uniforms, which I really like those, by the way. Then I had one with Ches Malusi stepping over Soldier Field, had the play like a champion today sign like drowning in Lake Michigan, which I liked. Had one with just raising the helmet up. Did a lot with track, did a lot of branding with wrestling. Let's see, did tennis.
What was your tennis stuff?
My tennis stuff?
Love.
Yeah. No, it was more graphics like when the ITA rankings came out. Wisconsin is ranked 28th in the ITA doubles.
And you put that
rankings.
on a T-shirt?
No, it'd be more. I worked more in social media graphics. Okay. I only did a couple fan giveaway T-shirts for soccer.
I like the play like a champion sinking into the bottom of Lake Michigan. That's a great visual.
Thank you.
I hope they bring that back next year.
I'll find it and put it up at some point.
All right,
big game at Lambeau next year. Wisconsin Notre Dame rematch.
There's a little conundrum that happened over the weekend that I was waiting until Jason was gone to get into because I knew Riley was going to be producing.
Oh boy,
got some youth. All right, so we ended up going to the Morgan Wallen concert on Sunday, and it was fun. My Eleanor was all excited to go. Max, not as much. We went with another couple. There's two couples, and I'm going to protect everybody's names and or images from this because I want to understand what you guys would do. Jesse, you're an old man. Riley, you're not.
Yes.
Let's say you and what was the quill pen gal's name? Just for reference.
Yeah, Katie.
Katie.
I am offended that Riley is not considered an old man when he writes love letters with quill pens.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's throwback.
I don't know
traditional.
Throwback traditional.
Not old, though.
So Riley, you with your old girl, you're still dating. Okay, let's just say, and I know that probably is a little heart-wrenching for you, but let's just put that into you and 6 of your friends. You're dating. There's maybe one other couple, and then just a bunch of girlfriends all go to Morgan Wallen.
Okay, so there's only 2 guys here.
Well, let's just say there's 3 guys and 4 girls. 5. Okay. There's a group of 8 of you. Everybody's having a great time. But you are dating this young lady for about a year and a half, okay? Mm-hmm. And everybody is excited. You spend good money to go to this. You get down there. You're having a great time. And let's say you're overheated and you had way too much to drink. And you get evacuated from the evacuation. You know, they evacuated the stadium. But they evacuate you from the evacuation because you drank too much.
Oh, my.
So let's say this happens.
That is a tough deal.
What is your route? Because the rest of your crowd didn't drink too much and can still go and enjoy it. You are the girlfriend. It's your girlfriend of a year and a half. You're in love, all this stuff. She gets evacuated just because she was overheated and had too much to drink. What is your role as that boyfriend with your friends, having a great time? Do you evacuate yourself and give up and take this person home? Do you say, you're an idiot? I'm not going to miss out on this great time that I paid for? What do you do in this scenario?
That's tough. So my girlfriend has too much to drink, gets evacuated. And
she gets evacuated from the building.
Now it's up to me. I have my friends
Your
on one
friends
side.
are here, and they're all like, we're still ripping.
They're ready to go back
I paid like $300 for this
Probably
ticket.
more.
But and then I have my girlfriend who has to leave.
It's not your wife.
No.
It is your girlfriend of a year and a half.
Year and a half's a long time to be together.
I think my first attempt is if she has friends in the area, maybe call one of her friends, see if she can go stay there, if she can get picked up and stay there.
So let me interject quickly. Let's say you have been with this young lady for an extended period of time, and you're very good friends with their sister. Do you call the sister? Because this was the initial thought.
Specific.
Do you call the sister? No, this is not nothing to do with
this. Of course, yeah, hypothetical.
Do you call the sister?
I call the sister. I would call the sister.
So you really want to abandon?
That's not what I'm saying.
It sounds like you want to stay and have somebody else deal with the problem. What is Morgan Wallen's thing called? You're not the problem, or you're the problem
tour?
I'm the problem.
No, it's I'm the problem tour.
Yeah.
This is a problem.
Yep.
Okay, continue.
And I think if the sister is unavailable Or if she...
Don't you wish, like, if it happened to you, would you want your girlfriend to take you home and take care of you?
See, I'd want my girlfriend to at least act like it, and then I can be like, nah, you're good. Just enjoy the concert. Like, I'll be fine. I could get myself home.
He brings up a good... I don't know if you want my opinion on this. Okay.
No, but I wanted Riley's first because I could actually see this scenario playing out for Riley.
As opposed to me, where I'm too old for this to
You're playing
be a
bingo
thing.
and canasta down at the KC Hall.
Ultimately, when it comes down to brass tacks, you got to go with them. A year and a half is serious enough commitment that if there's no other option or no other good option, I feel like you should go. Should take one for the team.
844-770-3776 is the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line if you'd like to weigh in on this hypothetical scenario that Tausch has presented for us. The Carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line, Jesse and Tausch today on Wilde and Tausch. I think, number one, you cannot let the person, whether it's a boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever you're with in this scenario, you can't let the person leave alone.
Yes.
That is unacceptable. If that person is being removed from a concert where everybody's getting after it,
sure.
If they're being removed, they cannot be trusted on their own to get home
I
safely.
think we all agree with that.
So that's number one. So someone needs to be with this person escorting them. If there are no other options available, it's up to the significant other. And you just got to bite the bullet at that point and say, I got to leave the concert and I got to make sure my significant other of a year and a half gets home safely. If this is first date and you're like, all right, well.
No, first date, you ain't have your deuces.
You got a friend, like, okay, figure it out. Different. Still make sure they're with someone responsible, but you can ditch them at that point and never call them again. Like, whatever. It's first date.
Okay.
Year and a half, you're in this. You're in it at a year and a half. So it is up to you, and it's up to what your relationship is with your significant other to know what they would want you to do in this scenario. I think by a year and a half, you know what that person is expecting of you in this situation. And I think, like, for some, it would be if we're in this together.
This is a real relationship tester.
Yes.
Yeah.
If we're in this together, then sorry I made a mistake. But I need you in this with me to make sure I get home safely, and that's going to be meaningful to me. Or on the other hand, some would value.
But you're an idiot, and you're going to ruin her or his experience by being an idiot.
It would be difficult to overcome knowing you're not only responsible for getting yourself kicked out, but you also cost your significant other money and an experience because you made mistakes. So
with their friends. Yes, it's not. Yeah. This was a real, if this scenario is playing out, I'm thinking there's just a lot of nuance to this.
Yes, for sure. So if it was me, if I was the one who had consumed too much and needed to be taken home, I would not want.
Well, first off, Becca's dropping you in an Uber.
She should ditch me. Yeah, she should ditch me.
Yes.
I would not want her to come with me. I would say, you stay and enjoy the concert. I will call a friend. I will make sure I get home. Hopefully, the ideal scenario is there's re-entry allowed. And so, like, your significant other can take you home and then come back and get back into the building.
Sure.
And it might, especially during a rain delay, that's a specific scenario, like it happened on Sunday night, but you've got a little time built in to get in.
All right.
So that, I think, would be the ideal scenario. If no re-entry is allowed, then I think it does come down to the relationship. In our relationship, we would say it's perfectly acceptable to call a relative or a close friend to try and get the person home so the other doesn't have to leave.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what happened?
In this theoretical situation, how did it end?
She went back into the concert.
Okay.
And he went home.
I can't get into all of those details.
He left the building.
I did say that, but it was an interesting case study, and I do think for me it would be go and enjoy the show. You shouldn't ruin other people if you're functioning enough to get there. Then the other question is, can you put? They got the little clink under the stadium.
Yeah,
can you
jail.
self-enroll in the Clinkster so that you can still get there and then get a ride home after the show?
And I bet you could hear the concert from Bucky Jail.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad thing. Yeah.
You could be rocking
so I
out.
think the right play is I don't want a burden. I appreciate you getting me out and getting me some water and trying to rehydrate and do the whole bit. And then I'm going to go self-check myself in to the Bucky Clink.
Find the nearest officer.
Was that the Andy Griffith show where the guy would walk in and he'd just check himself into the jail
Otis
cell?
the town drunk, right?
Otis the town drunk.
you got to Otis it.
That is true.
That's the ideal scenario in this hypothetical. Otis it.
But if your significant other doesn't do that, do you then think, what happens if something else happens? Or because this is self-imposed, it's a different deal?
Yeah, self-imposed, it's a different deal.
I agree. I think self-imposed is a completely different deal. I thought she handled the scenario very well.
Well, good.
So I think everybody, in a sticky, very sticky situation, I think it was handled well. But I'm Riley, if your gal, the old Quilster,
Yep,
she has no interest and says, figure it out, would that have made you more likely to end things with her rather than her breaking your heart?
it's definitely makes you think. If you can tell there's no care whatsoever, then that would give me pause. But if
Okay.
there's sorry man, you're an idiot, you did this, I want to enjoy the concert,
Deal with
then
it.
it's like, okay,
I get it.
I totally understand that.
I do think it's very different. We'll get to some of the responses. They're rolling in on the Cardinals Talk and text line. We'll get to those coming up next. It's
Jeremy in Green Bay's got to go.
There's a few good ones here. It's very different if you're in like Chicago at, I think Beyonce was there not that long. Like if you're in if it's not a home game for you, like Riley going to Camp Randall to Morgan Wallen would be okay. He's got friends living in the area that aren't at the concert.
He's got friends in low places, am I right?
I know he's got family.
Is that Morgan
that's not,
Wallen?
No,
That's Garth.
That's Garth. Not exactly.
so you got family that's nearby. You got friends that you know are around. If you're in Indianapolis, if you're in Chicago, if you're in somewhere else where you're not right at home, you handle this differently than if you're in Madison in your backyard. I think that plays into this
fair.
too.
That's true. I walked to the concert.
An interesting window
Way to
into
go. Sorry.
very responsible.
What a real estate flex. Jeez.
Cool.
I walked there. I came from Cambridge, but I wanted to get some extra
I was
steps
also
in.
listening outside the stadium. I didn't have a ticket, but
Brian Bulaga, Homer, still to come on the show today. We're gonna.
I saw some people carrying chairs in like a 6-pack, and they just went up and sat on a sidewalk.
yep.
Probably not a bad idea.
No, I listened to the first 6 songs. I can get into it next segment, but I chauffeured my aunt, uncle, and their friends to and from the concert because
You
they
should let
wanted
me know.
to
We
drink.
could have given old boy a ride home.
Yeah.
Riley's Uber service.
Yeah, but then I just sat for like the first 6 songs of the concert. I just sat outside.
You'd be a good Uber guy. You'd be a good Uber driver.
I thought I was pretty solid.
No, I'm saying, I think you'd be good. Put one of those pink mustaches up on the top of your car and just go to work.
Another side hustle for me.
You just said it's been a slow week.
Yeah,
4th of July fireworks would be a great time to get started as an Uber guy.
Yeah, it'd be a good week to start.
True.
Summerfest, if you want to get some action down in the Milwaukee area,
Yeah.
you got a lot of options available for you this week. Tausch, tell us about Pella Windows.
Thank
in Wisconsin.
you for. We just talked about having some resilience, whether it's in your relationship, in life. For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella Experience. The Pella Experience Center lets you see it, feel it, open and close and slam and compare dozens of windows and door options from 7 different Pella lines, and you can do it all side by side. Stop by soon, because if you order by July 31st, you get 0 interest for up to 5 years. Certain restrictions do apply. Visit the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield or schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
844-770-3776, the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin Talk and Text line. How would you handle the hypothetical scenario that Tausch presented for the Morgan Wallen concert on Sunday night? Plus, we will get into reactions from the free agent frenzy for the Milwaukee Bucks yesterday and Jason Wilde's countdown of the top 20 most important Packers of 2025 officially began at channel3000.com yesterday. We'll get into all that, plus Brian Bulaga and Homer still to come. Don't go anywhere. It's Jesse and Tausch on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
It's always a beautiful experience coming out to the ballpark. Many fans prep in the parking lot amongst our legendary tailgaters. When you're ready for new windows and doors, prep for those at the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. See, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from different Pella lines side by side. And if you order by July 31st, get 0% interest for up to 5 years on Blue Mountain Road, or visit PellaWI.com today.
This fall, there's only one place to be, Camp Randall Stadium. Wisconsin football returns with can't-miss matchups, including Maryland, Iowa, Washington, and more. From the first touchdown to jump around and the celebration of the fifth quarter. Experience the traditions and unforgettable memories that make Wisconsin football so special. Single-game tickets are now on sale. Lock in your spot today by visiting uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS. Wisconsin football game day starts here. We'll see you at Camp Randall.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com, because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Hey, it's Alex Stroh. What are the expectations for Jordan Love in year 3 as the starter for the Green Bay Packers? What will the Packers' new-look defense look like? And what are reasonable expectations for the Packers' record in 2025? We'll explore all of those questions on our annual State of the Packers show, Saturday, July 5th, live from Summerfest. Join me, Gabe Neitzel, and Jason Wilde from noon until 3 as we take a deep dive into the 2025 Green Bay team. It's State of the Packers, July 5th, beginning at noon, right here on ESPN Madison.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
We're on the Brewers.
Jacob Mizorowski gives shades of Randy Johnson. He has the stuff to challenge Pirates phenom Paul Skeens as the most dominant pitcher in the National League.
Nobody covers the crew like 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers.
Before we get to the carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line at 844-770-3776, a private message from an unnamed ESPN Wisconsin producer.
Okay.
On the private talk and text line. First game back at Camp Randall after COVID, had to be carried out of the stadium at halftime. 2 friends left the game to take care of me.
Ooh, so that kind of tells you so you think the girlfriend should have left with the young
Well,
man.
that just means that that's 2 good friends who said we got to make sure we're taking care of our guy, making sure he gets home safely, which again,
I wonder
is the most important
thing.
Did
he or she say what time they were taken out of the game?
After halftime.
After halftime?
After halftime.
Okay. I was going to say.
Or at halftime.
At halftime. All right. That was a close game. That's fair.
Yeah. That was the Penn State game, so they didn't even make the jump around.
I was there too. That sucked.
Well, there's
the jump
some
around
games
was
that
awesome,
you're actually kind of pulling for that, because then you have an excuse to leave.
Well, if
it's a Brewer game, it's 9-0.
Yeah, then you have a reason, right? That makes sense. But close game, you definitely don't want. And the Penn State game was close.
All right.
So some of the texts rolling in on the Carbless ESPN Wisconsin Talk and text line at 844-770-3776. Jesse and Tausch today on Wilde and Tausch. Jason will be back next week, but also for the State of the Packers at Summerfest on Saturday afternoon with Alex Strofe and Gabe Neitzel. Jeremy in Green Bay responding to the hypothetical of Tausch's scenario at the Morgan Wallen concert on Sunday night, where a couple that had been dating for, I want to summarize this correctly, dating for a year and a half.
I think in that ballpark, yeah.
One of them was, during the thunderstorm evacuation, one of them was removed from the premises.
Evacuated from the evacuation.
For consuming a little too much. Jeremy in Green Bay, I'm going with her no matter what, ... but she is repaying for the ticket plus interest. So he wants his money back if we're both leaving, and you're paying me that and a little extra back.
Okay. I think everybody's got different ways they'd handle this, so I'm not, there's no judgment on my end. I thought it was a very unique circumstance that I thought would play well on air, and I think it has.
Another one here from Dave in Deerfield. You have to leave and take care of the significant other, but then you can use that to your advantage down the road.
Sounds manipulative.
I
get it.
Bit.
I get it.
I've heard the I think it was in the show Suits was when I first heard this saying.
Is that on Andy after Andy Griffith?
It is not. Suits is on Netflix. It had a resurgence like a couple of years ago or last. It was very popular for.
Kind of irritated. I thought Happy Gilmore 2 was out on the 4th of July weekend.
Nope, July 25th.
25th?
It comes out. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Shooter.
You can never have too many people owe you one, is the saying that I think came up in the show Suits.
Okay.
And I've thought about that one over time. Like,
all right.
It's nice to do people favors or, take the high
as
road
long
on
as
something.
they
and then you
do
owe
favors
me one.
for you later.
Yeah,
fair.
then you owe me one. Then you can say, like, hey, let's I want to go golfing today with Tyler.
Hey, I'm going to go down to Bradshaw. I'm going to get at it, and I want you taking me from Rockford back home.
I want you to stay home and mow the lawn. I don't want you to go to Bradshaw. Oh, really? Remember when you had to go home after the Morgan Wallen concert? Huh. I'm going to Bradshaw.
You think Becca would have liked the Bradshaw show?
No.
Okay.
I don't think it was her cup of tea, but I enjoyed it a lot. And so did my parents. It was a good time. And so did everyone else that was in the arena at the Hard Rock Casino Rockford on Sunday night. 844-770-3776. Keep your responses coming. We are going to step aside coming up now because Brian Bulaga is scheduled to appear coming up next. We will unveil when Bulaga joins what the 20th ranked Packer is on Jason Wilde's list as he begins the countdown at channel3000.com of the top.
Sounds a little clickbaity to me.
Isn't that what you like? You like clickbait stuff.
I like interesting things.
And
this was interesting.
Jason has opinions. He has rankings. These are all the things we want from Jason that we never get from
but not
him.
on air. That's fair.
This is Jason at his best.
All right, I won't disagree.
The top 20 Packers of the 2025 season. The countdown has begun at channel3000.com. We'll review it with Brian Bulaga coming up next. But Tausch, since Jason isn't here, you get to tell us about Steinhoffels.
Get your best night's sleep on a Tempur-Pedic mattress from Steinhoffels. And during the 4th of July mattress sale, you save $500 on the Tempur Breeze. That sounds cool. Plus, you get $300 in Steinhoffels cash. The Tempur Breeze uses exclusive cooling technology. That sounds fun. And it's hot, keeping you up to 10 degrees cooler night after night. Just think how much better you're going to sleep and how much more recovery you're going to have when you're sleeping. It's 10 degrees cooler. And Queen Breeze mattresses, they start at just $86 per month when you use Steinhoffels 60-month financing. Shop Steinhoffels in-store or online.
Brian Bulaga scheduled to appear next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. The name you can trust. Summer road trips are great. Troubles with your vehicle on those road trips? Not so much. Don't risk waiting until it's too late to resolve an issue with your car. Stop in and trust the fantastic service team at Zimbrick Chevy before you hit the road for a big trip. Zimbrick's service team takes great care of my vehicle anytime I need to bring it in, for serious issues or just for routine maintenance. There is a reason Zimbrick Chevrolet is consistently recognized as a best of Madison operation. Get a tune-up, check the battery, check your tires, change the oil, make sure all the inner workings of your vehicle are in tip-top shape so you don't get stranded on the side of the road. Call or click to schedule a service appointment and learn more at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. That's ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the New York Mets.
Here's Ortiz, launches one out to left. It is deep. Back of the track, gone!
Tonight on 100.5 ESPN.
Hey ESPN Milwaukee fans, Brian Bulaga here for Surfside. Summer is heating up, and there's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside iced tea and vodka or Surfside lemonade and vodka to break the heat. Made with real brewed tea and real vodka, Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy no matter what your plans are this weekend. Look for the can with the sunset stripes, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit MapleHillGolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Siding Unlimited recently installed 20 brand new amazing energy efficient windows. Our Siding Unlimited crew removed the old windows, inspected the wall for wood rot, installed the new beautiful windows, and cleaned up behind ourselves. It was easy to get started. The homeowner met us at our amazing showroom on 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. Trust me, our showroom is a must-see. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
This update sponsored by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you.
The Milwaukee Brewers have partnered with GovX to offer 50% off select tickets to active duty military, veterans, first responders, government employees, and teachers at Sunday through Thursday games, courtesy of Vortex. Visit brewers.com/GovX.
Join UW Credit Union at uwcu.org, insured by NCUA.
I'm very familiar with Gruber Law Offices because they're always out in the community.
Gruber Law Offices are known to be honest, hardworking.
They're always involved in our neighborhoods.
Gruber Law Offices make our community a better place.
They are the best. For nearly 40 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped people throughout Wisconsin. If you're injured, we're here to help. One call, that's all.
Wisconsin would not be the same without Gruber Law Offices.
Brian Bulaga on Wilde and Tausch is brought to you by Surfside. Surfside iced tea and vodka and Surfside lemonade and vodka. It's light, refreshing, and has 0 bubbles. It's perfect for a day on the golf course or a day at American Family Field. Cheers to Surfside.
I've got some famous friends you probably never heard of, but back in Rutherford County, our crowd is second to none. You might not know them here in this big city we're in, but when I go back home, I've got some famous friends. Yeah, I do.
You know what that music means. Although there is no Jason Wilde today, there is a Brian Bulaga appearance on Wilde and Tausch. And I've got a bone to pick with Brian Bulaga before we get into Packers. So we're gonna unveil Jason's top 20 Packers countdown of the most important Packers. He's unveiled the first 2 names. We're gonna get to those coming up. But first,
you know what I'm interested too is to see, because Jason always blames me for this Bulaga segment going to 10:20.
Yeah.
I'll make a wager we're going to be closer to the clock today than when Jason's here.
I would not bet on that.
All right, we'll find out.
We are. Now you have a vested interest. Good morning, Brian Bulaga, Iowa. How are you?
I'm great, and I have a really good idea about this bone you got to pick, and I have a feeling everyone's going to agree with me. Maybe not Tausch, but everyone else nationally, maybe even locally in the state of Wisconsin may even agree with me on this because they see the result of what's going on at particular said school, and they're not happy with it. So, yeah, I think they're going to agree with me, too. So, continue.
Brian Bulaga, noted Iowa Hawkeye alum, texts me and Jason, noticeably Tausch not on the group
and
text
I appreciate that.
on Friday night.
I did that on purpose. I
appreciate that,
yeah.
So it's like 7 o'clock Friday night. I'm out having a few Coors Light. This is about the time I was asking them to turn the Brewers game on at the establishment we were at. We talked about that yesterday. And I get a text from Bulaga in a group text with him and Jason and I. I'm like, what is this? And it's one of our ESPN Madison Instagram posts from Squat Fest at Camp Randall Stadium, where you hosted the show last Friday. We had a bunch of great Badgers guests join us. Riley was there as part of our social media team. He may have even been the one who put this post up on Instagram of Luke Fickell walking around the weight room as a bunch of the players are, in the spirit of Squat Fest. They're punching bags on the ground, and it's all their great stuff, like good stuff going on. And Bulaga texts us and says, "This is embarrassing. Cringe fest." You were just talking mad trash about Squat Fest, which is one of the more celebrated moments of the offseason, the most celebrated moment of the offseason for Wisconsin football fans outside of like 5-star recruits committing to the university. What's your deal? Why are you so anti-Squat Fest? It's fun.
Celebrated moments of the off-season program. Explain a celebrated moment of the off-season program for?
Yes, you're getting.
Explain that to me, please. I get. Okay, let me explain. I get Tausch. Tausch is a big part of the program. Tausch goes to the program. He's involved very heavily in said program. Tausch goes to a program and watches guys train, and he's heavily involved. You being excited about Squat Fest and telling me Squat Fest is an enormous part and a very exciting part of the off-season program makes absolutely no sense to me. And then seeing guys punching a punching bag on the ground during Squat Fest. It's Squat Fest, right? Like they're
Squat
under a
Fest
rack
is the name
squat.
of the event. Yeah.
Yes, and they're squatting weight, right? Like I'm assuming they're trying to PRs, and I would imagine they're team weights, right? Like they're trying to
you're working out
it's
through
a
the
team
off-season.
competition.
It's the last workout before the guys go home for the 4th of July and kind of their summer break, and then come back for camp in late July.
Yes,
right.
So what does punching a bag on the ground have to do with squatting? That's my first question. Tausch, do you know what punching a bag on the ground has to do with squatting? Can you answer me that?
I think it's it's not just, you're not going to sit in there for 2 hours and squat, Blue. I mean, you're not going to load the rack.
Believe me, I know
squat
that.
for 2 hours. There's other exercises. There's core, all the other stuff that you do. And Blue, so here's what I would tell you. And you and Jesse can have this argument. And first thing is, I love the fact that you're following Wisconsin football on your Instagram.
Just Madison. It's Madison. It's Madison.
Yeah,
I follow ESPN Madison.
And you know what? We appreciate that. But the other thing, and this is where when you're in the off season, and you know this, there's spring ball, there's the spring game, which is another highlight of it. I think what Squat Fest is, and what Luke Fickell has done by bringing it, and Brady Collins, it's about putting your guys in some adverse situations and having the team bond around that. I don't know if I can move 650 pounds today. Let's get our group and rally, and let's build that camaraderie that we have. That's what Squat Fest was. And as far as all of the celebrations and everything else, the punching bags, I don't know, Brian. I mean, it's something, you're working your hands and doing all that. That's what Squat Fest is. And I think it gives them a break. They kind of have this is the spot, then they take the 4th off, and then it's the second phase, and then ball starts. So they're trying to make this more fun, maybe a bigger environment where guys have to fight through some adversity. That's what Squat Fest is. I think it's fun for the players, fun with hard work. It's a good combination.
Can I say that I have absolutely no problem with a team competition within the offseason? May I first by saying that when I was at the University of Iowa with Coach Ferentz and Coach Doe as a strength coach, we also had team competition throughout the entire offseason. We were split into teams, and throughout the entire offseason, there was a competition. What it was called, no idea. Don't remember. Don't care what it was called, actually.
Yeah. And you got to eat corn
maybe
after you're done.
Maybe. My question would be my question would be this. The point of having the social media and the other people in there and the gawking around it, I guess, is my question. What is the point of that?
Building excitement and anticipation and getting a chance to be for fans. Fans like to have access to the team, and if you get a chance to see, this is a big. They've got strobe lights. The guys are wearing the quarterback had like a toga on as he was doing his the other day. They're got the paint on their faces. Like, it's a cool, unique situation to have some great. Like, Tausch is hosting the show on Friday morning, and there's red and white strobe lights going off while we're doing the show. It's a one-of-a-kind atmospheric experience. It's exciting. It's fun during a time where the Brewers are playing, but there's not a lot else going on in the world of sports this time of year. Like, this is a fun thing to capture and be part of and build anticipation and excitement for the coming football season. Badgers fans love this.
Do they? And this is not, and I know Tausch is going to get mad at me, and I don't want Tausch to get mad at me.
No,
and
you don't.
This isn't. No, I don't want Tausch to be mad at me. This is not, and this is not trying to stir a pot. And because I'm not sitting here and saying that my program's a national champ, they're not. But there's getting excited about potentially struggling. When they're struggling, is that what we should be promoting that? That's my question.
That's what do you want them to do? Not promote the team at all and be like, well,
it's not about not promoting the team. It's not about not promoting the team. That's not what I'm saying. The promoting the team is not the thing, but Squat Fest in general and strobe lights. You're excited about strobe lights and face paint. That was what you told me through the text change, that you were excited about strobe lights and face paint.
Just like you get excited about 13 points a game.
But they're winning.
Sometimes.
More than you did last year.
Fair. Last year was a bad year. Everybody knows last year was a bad year.
But if you're gonna knock points and then wins and losses, that's what the end of the day. It's the end of the day result, right? It's wins and losses.
Yeah, last year was an anomaly. Iowa scored more points than usual. Wisconsin didn't reach a bowl game. We'll go back to where we should be this year. I'm confident in that. You'll be back to 14 points a game. We'll be back to reaching bowl games and winning games and beating some quality teams in the Big Ten, and everyone will be back to where they need to be. I'm confident in that this year after seeing what the team did at Squat Fest last week.
Oh, my gosh. All right. Oh, my gosh.
All right, well, here's what we're going to do. You guys had your fun little banter.
You got Tausch
I'll say
mad.
this
You
to
got
put
mad, Blue.
No, I'm not mad at all. To put a bow on this, Jesse loves the face paint and the strobe lights. What I love about it is the work, what they're doing, the gains that they're making, and the adversity that you get put in, and in an off season where you're always trying to replicate as much football activity as you can, this does more than a normal lift. That's why I'm all right with it. I think it's fun. The players are having some fun with it. But Blue is right. It's going to come down to playing on the field, and all this other stuff is just window dressing, and Wisconsin needs to be better than what they were last year, and everybody is well aware of that. You know it isn't? American Family Insurance. They are the best, and they are a proud partner of Wilde and Tausch for almost 100 years. They've been committed to making life better with the right home and auto protection, all so you're free to enjoy your dreams. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. When we come back, we're going to talk Packers. I want to hear Blue's thoughts on Jason's 20th pick, but I want to get into, again, we talked O-line on this show when Brian Bulaga is on. I am very interested to hear what he's thinking as far as what he would do, and we've had this discussion, but it's getting closer. The 4th of July, once that weekend is over, the switch flips on for football players. It starts being about football. We'll get all of those thoughts with Brian Bulaga next on Wilde and Tausch.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. Staying tough up front, Melvin Gordon a prime ambassador to defend Wisconsin's RBU legacy. The Badger legend back in Madison for the Vibes Golf Tournament last weekend. Flash with more on why running the rock is a team effort during his appearance on ESPN Madison's Saturday Scramble.
And when people doubt you, that's when people dig in and find that hunger and find that nastiness. We got to get back. I seen a couple old linemen, and I was just like, hey, it starts with you guys. I was only as good as my offensive linemen, only as good as those guys blocking for me up front. You know, as long as I knew I had them, I knew.
For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella experience. Get 0% interest for up to 5 years if you order by July 31st at PellaWI.com.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car, better start looking. But you've got this, just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Celebrate the 4th with family, friends, and unbeatable appliance deals at Brothers Maine. Our fireworks of savings on top brands like Whirlpool, plus next day delivery, will make you ooh and ah. Visit us today and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Whether you're in the market for a new or new-to-you vehicle, Metro Ford of Madison has the customer service that's second to none. With a legacy of excellence and an extensive selection of quality Ford vehicles, it's the place to go for the new Ford of your dreams. Browse their inventory, schedule a service, or see this month's offers at MetroFordofMadison.com. That's MetroFordofMadison.com. Or visit them on the east side of Madison today.
This fall, there's only one place to be, Camp Randall Stadium. Wisconsin football returns with can't-miss matchups, including Maryland, Iowa, Washington, and more. From the first touchdown to jump around and the celebration of the 5th quarter. Experience the traditions and unforgettable memories that make Wisconsin football so special. Single-game tickets are now on sale. Lock in your spot today by visiting uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS. Wisconsin football game day starts here. We'll see you at Camp Randall.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
I've got some famous friends you probably never heard of, but back in Rutherford County, our crowd is second to none. You might not know them here in this big city we're in, but when I go back home, I've got some famous friends. Yeah, I do.
Continuing with Brian Bulaga Bulaga on Wilde and Tausch. No Wilde today, Jesse and Tausch. But,
hey, Blue, do you follow Dove Kleiman on social media? I think he's like a fake. I don't know if he's fake. We can't tell if he's fake.
Someone bought his account.
I know.
It's
I
not
do
Dove
not
anymore.
like the new.
yeah, it's not the
Dove.
same as it used to be.
It's all clickbait.
I'm
It's terrible.
debating erasing it. I thought Dove used to bring some interesting stuff to the table, and now I just am doing like none of it. It all is just.
No, I don't follow him. I
That's
do
smart.
not follow him.
Don't.
No.
Okay.
No.
Good deal.
Was there a tweet you saw that?
Yeah, I'm just sure he
brought that
sends
up?
so many tweets. There was something that
the Joe Burrow thing. That's one you sent over yesterday, where he was getting heckled by fans. Is that what you were thinking?
He's. I don't know if players and their reps pay him to like promote their. That's the vibe I get. Derrick Henry jumping over trucks. Like, okay. We're good. My point is, I used to think his account was really good. Now I don't.
You're out on Dove. Dove
I'm
used
out
to
on
be your
Dove.
guy. Now you're out on new
I'm
Dove.
thinking about unfollowing him.
All
Yes.
right.
All right.
Thank you for that declaration.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Jason Wilde has provided at channel3000.com his beginning of the countdown of the top 20 most important Packers of the 2025 season. Checking in at number 20.
Speaking of clickbait,
Jason actually did spoil this yesterday when he shared it with us. Luke Musgrave, tight end Luke Musgrave, in at number 20. And today, posted at channel3000.com, in at number 19, rookie wide receiver Matthew Golden. Luke Musgrave, number 20, Matthew Golden, number 19. The countdown will continue as we continue to count down to training camp next week. Brian Bulaga, we ask you, Luke Musgrave and Matthew Golden, what are your expectations for them, respectively, heading into this 2025 season?
Yeah, I mean, starting with Musgrave, like I think since the tight end position, I mean, we all know Tucker Kraft's obviously the number one. A lot of things are going to run through him through this offense. I think there's going to be more of a shift offensively through the air to him. I think that's something probably that's going to be prioritized. But with that, you got to have a plan, and just in the NFL, things happen, right? Like you just have to have backup plans, and things happen in the NFL. And I hate to bring up anything of that nature, but as Campy always would say, Tausch knows this too. A shoestring comes untied, a shoelace comes untied, or a trim strap. Something happens throughout a game, and you got to go in the game. And the thing is, Musgrave's going to play a lot anyway. A lot of two tight end sets. He's going to be in the game regardless. So he's going to see a lot of snaps. But he's going to have to step up his game, right? He's going to have to step up his game to see more game time if he's, if LaFleur's going to trust these two tight end sets.
If I may, why do you think Musgrave's going to take a lot of snaps? Because all we've been hearing about is all these wideouts and Golden, and we know you only play 11.
Yeah.
Why do you think he's going to? Because Kraft ain't coming off the field. He's going to be a three down. He is going to be. He'll be, if he's healthy, 85-90% of the reps guy. Why do you think Musgrave will play a lot?
Well, I think LaFleur is going to want to do a lot of two tight end sets. I think he's going to be a big 21 personnel guy. I think that's going to something they're going to want to. I think he's going to want to do a lot of that based on a lot of the talk earlier in the offseason. I don't mean like OTAs. I mean, prior to that, there was a lot of chatter about being a 21 personnel team, right? A lot of what the Patriots used to do and working the offense through the tight ends and how the run game developed last year. And it was kind of a surprise to a lot of people. And if you're able to do that, have a good run game, and you have two good tight ends that can work the middle of the field and work seams, and the play action can really evolve from that. So that's one way I look at it, why he may be able to get a lot of snaps if he picked. Oh,
if he does that, do you think he then has to put Jordan Love under center a lot more? Because I don't think you want to be doing a ton of that personnel groupings and doing a bunch of gun. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, 100%. You got to be under center in 21. Especially if you're going to do a lot of play action and things like that. Which then again, going back to last year, how they were in gun a lot. Jacobs likes gun a lot. That's going to be another little tweak, right, to what we saw a lot last year, which is going back to what LaFleur likes to do initially with his scheme, is under center, play action, stretch, things like that. So that may be a little revert back to what the offense initially was when LaFleur first got here, which I think is fantastic, right? Like, I think that's really good. And I'm not saying he can't go in the gun because Jacobs is really good out of the gun, but it would be good to see that. But I think there's going to be a place for Musgraves. I think he's going to have to earn time, right? But, if we're going to be in 21 personnel, he's going to be the guy that's going to be there. Now, it all depends on him, how much of that personnel we do run, right? Like, I think that's what this comes down to, because if you don't have another tight end that you can trust in 21 personnel, you're not going to run it much. Like, that's just the nature of it, right? You're just not going to go out there in 21 when you don't have another tight end in line that you can trust to run it. And that's the way it is.
I wonder, can he, because we all, his rookie season, everybody, I remember Jason taking snapshots of his quads and running. Oh, he's such a freak athlete. And then you watched him in a game and it didn't translate to me. So I think he's got great speed. They measure speed, and he was the fastest guy clocked at practice. And so he has all that stuff. But if you're going to do that two tight sets, you got to be able to block. And I don't know. Maybe he's gotten a lot better. But can you get by with, Tucker we know can block. Musgrave, I think we want to think he can. Can you get by doing that if you have one guy? Both guys need to be able to block the run game, and then I don't think there's any question both can get out and run the routes that you're going to be looking for. But if you're going to do that, you better have both guys be able to block.
100%. Well, I think that's where Musgrave struggles. I think that's kind of where he, kind of at this point now, he's had his ups and downs with injuries, and that's kind of been his unfortunate kind of stalling point throughout his time in Green Bay, is like he's shown some promise and then something happens. He shows, and like that's kind of been his issue. But if you're going to look at kind of where there may be some limitation, it's in the run game, right? And Kraft is so good in the run game. He's a really willing and able and good blocker that that's for sure going to be a positive for him. And Musgrave is, I don't know if he's there as a blocker or quite as good. And if you're going to run that, that personnel grouping, you got to have two able blockers, because you can't just run one way. You can't just run to one tight end, because that becomes very predictable, right? Like if you just run to Kraft, that becomes very easy for defenses to key in on, and it won't work. So that's what I'm saying. How much they are in that personnel group comes down to how Musgraves performs and how he goes through training camp and the preseason work and how he, looks. Does he have all the skill set? Yes, he does. He has all the skill set to put it together. It's just, how does it work out for him? And that's really what this comes down to.
Joined by Brian Bulaga on Wilde and Tausch, Jesse and Tausch today. Jason Wilde's list of the top 20 most important Packers for the 2025 season unveiled at channel3000.com with number 20, Luke Musgrave, and number 19, rookie wide receiver Matthew Golden. I think it was Mina Kimes called Matthew Golden the X factor for the Green Bay Packers heading into this 2025 season. I mean, that would work too. Their whole thing was X factors for every team when they did it, but the Golden Boy will catch on, yes. Expected to be potentially a new fan favorite for fans to enjoy when he takes the field. Obviously, the draft and the pomp and circumstance that went into that was pretty magical on that Thursday night in Green Bay. What are your expectations, Blue, for Matthew Golden in the Packers offense this year? Will he be an impact wide receiver right away, or will it take a year or two for him to become the dependable potential number one wide receiver?
I think it's going to take a little bit of time for him to be the number one, right? Like, I think it's going to take a little bit of time. I think to expect him to come out right out of the gates and be the true number one, I think we need to kind of like let him adapt and kind of grow into this offense and figure out, his role and his comfort level in it, right? I mean, I think we all saw OTAs wasn't too taxing and too strenuous, and it wasn't really what it used to be, where guys would really kind of get thrown to the fire early in OTAs, and they would be stressed and they would have to learn the playbook, and it would be almost full speed against starting defenses, and guys would have to learn under fire, and it would be, a lot of reps and a lot of different looks against high quality, starters. And that's just not the case in OTAs anymore. So he's going to have to start learning all this against our starting defense. And then obviously once, joint practices come in training camp. So he's going to have, to start learning and figuring out, who he is as an NFL player once training camp starts. And for rookies, some catch on faster, some it takes a little bit of time. So for him, we don't know how long that's going to take, but there's other guys in that room that we can depend on at this point in time to kind of carry that burden while he figures that out, right? I mean, there are veteran guys in that room that have a point to prove this year as well, which I think is a big plus for the Green Bay Packers going into this season. But for Golden, listen, I think he's going to be a good football player. I think he can be, sky's the limit for him. I think by, you look, at least for me, I'm hoping by mid-season, he's going to be a real weapon, because I think LaFleur's going to figure out what is really good for him in terms of packages and plays and routes and everything. He's going to figure out what is really good for him right now as a rookie. I'm not saying for the rest of his career, but as a rookie, what he's comfortable with, what he's good at, and what he knows really well by probably middle of the season. And then you can cut him loose and let him go and play it. And he's comfortable as a player doing all that. He learns coverages. He's able to adjust to coverages on the fly. I think people think it's just you go out there, you run routes, and you get the ball thrown to you. I mean, these receivers are adjusting to coverages on the fly. They're sitting down in zones and in coverages, and they're adjusting to coverages as the play as the ball snaps. So there's a lot of things these guys are doing and adjusting to on the fly that they're learning on the job, so to speak. So we got to give him a little bit of time. But he's going to play a major role in the season. He's going to play a major role. There's going to be a lot asked of him. And I expect him to, play well as the season comes, you look to November, December, I expect him to start to catch on and play really good ball. I'm certainly not going to be panicking by, October if he isn't, blowing up the scene. I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, what? No, I'm not worried about that at that point. He's got to figure himself out as an NFL pro, right? Like you got to give him time and let him adjust, and he'll be fine. But I think he's going to be a good football player and all that. And I want to go back. It was actually 12 personnel. I'm sorry, I said 21. It's 12 personnel for the tight ends. I just want to make a
Somebody
correction
corrected
there.
you.
Yeah.
Wilde would have corrected. Well, Wilde doesn't know. So, Blue, who's gonna? If you had a bet right now, take Tucker Kraft out of the equation. Who's going to lead this team in receptions?
Ooh, take Kraft out. I'm going to say. I'll say Reed. I like Reed.
Why not Dobbs?
Yeah, I like Dobbs.
He picked Reed. He thinks Reed's going to do it.
I understand, but I think Romeo Dobbs has been kind of the dependable go-to guy, it feels like, in clutch situations the last couple of years. It's curious that you would say Jaden Reed more than Dobbs.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you could pick. You can go down the line and, like Tausch was kind of saying, you can pick one of the 3 or 4 guys. You know what I mean? You can pick these guys. Yeah, I mean, I just.
Watson.
Watson. If Watson leads the team in receptions when he comes back late in the season, we got some issues.
I think Watson. You start just listening and reading the tea leaves here. I don't think Watson's going to miss as much time. I said that Jason was like, he's not going to be back till December. I'm like, you don't know that. You don't know that. Did I miss something? Did he get a doctorate degree and start studying knees? Like, the odds would say yes, but I think it's going to be a question mark if he's going to get pupped or not. That's what I think is going to happen. I think eventually they will pup him and he'll miss 6 weeks, but I would bet he's playing before Halloween.
Before Halloween is what you're going to say. You're going to put your flag in that camp.
He's running, he's cutting, and yes, it's different. I get all of that, but he is highly motivated, and I think the Packers, if he proves that he can get out there and do it, he is going to push and push. This isn't going to be one of those, I'm going to wait till I'm 6,000% healthy. I think he's going to push to get out there because he knows it's a gamble, no question, but just reading how things are, reading what LaFleur's saying, watching him put his videos up, I know it's different, but I will be surprised. You remember when everybody thought Rashawn Gary was going to be out for half the season, and he started practicing at training camp? I don't think that's going to happen, but I think he will be playing before Halloween. It's my prediction.
I mean, like what you're saying is, I mean, everything that I've seen too, like he looks good at
He's
this
a freak
point in time.
athlete, man.
Yeah, and like you said, like it is different. As you know, you've torn ACLs, I've torn ACLs. I understand it's different doing rehab work and things like that, and
it's different being a lineman compared to being a wide out,
Yes.
where there's more explosivity and all that. I get all that,
Yeah. But he looks good. I will say that he looks good, and all the reports are that he looks really good, and how he's running and cutting, like it's impressive stuff. And he is a freak athlete. So no, it would not surprise me either. And for his sake, I hope he is able to get back out, and he is able to prove that he's good, and he's able to play, and he's able to put up numbers, and he's able to, if at the minimum, get an extension or something that, and get some money that he can then get another year to prove what he is as a wideout, and then get paid. You're right. I'm hoping that for him, because I think he's a good player. So that's what I hope.
Yeah, even Blue, if he gets and they work him in slowly because of that world-class speed that he's got and size, you just do some things early where you just do, he's kind of a one-trick pony where you just run him down and you run fly routes, because for as much as Jesse has poo-pooed him, and you have poo-pooed him, he makes this offense different. He makes people afraid of that speed. And you watch the end of last season, there was a collapsing down. There wasn't the threat of over the top. That's why you grab Golden, because you have to have young talent coming in, and you don't know what you're getting, and you can't trust that Watson will be out there yet. But, man, if you can start mixing that puzzle together, going to be fun. I do think that I'm hoping that is the case for Christian too. Blue, before we let you go, what do you make? It's going to be the 4th of July. Was it for you? Was it always, all right, man, we left minicamp, OTAs, going to celebrate, relax, and then once you're done with your family and you do all the 4th of July stuff, does the flip switch? Because it always did for me, like, I better make sure I got my gassers so I can get that pass before we get going. And then football is just on your brain probably a lot more than it should be right after that 4th of July.
Yeah, essentially once the 4th passes, I mean, they want you to take, they give you the month of July off to decompress from football, but there's no way to avoid, once the 4th goes by, that's all you can really think about, right? You're just training and thinking about camp, right? Like it's just like the inevitable countdown of, when am I leaving to go to camp? And that's all you think about. They can let you out as early as they want in June, and no matter what, once the 4th passes, that's really all you're consumed about, is you're thinking about that. So hope these guys enjoy these next few days, because at least that's the way I was always thinking is, have a couple cold ones, Tausch Surfside, or Coors. I'm going to drink some Surfside. Maybe that's what these guys are doing. And once that turns around, it's time to think ball, and that kind of turns to the question with the Green Bay Packers and Elton Jenkins. Like, we got to start thinking about what's going on here, right?
And
like,
Zach, Tom, both,
and Tom. Like, we got to start thinking about, like, are we getting this thing done, right? Like, because like that's, to me. Because we passed the 4th, and when do they report the 23rd? And they're on the field probably the 24th, would be my guess.
The 23rd
right? Like,
is the first day of camp.
Yeah, 22nd report, 23rd practice.
Yeah, I mean the 23rd is going to come and be here before you even know it. Like, it'll be here before you know it. So like that makes me a little nervous, right? Like it makes me a little nervous that like you don't hear anything, nothing's happened, there's no chatter.
Which one gets resolved first?
Got
to be Elton.
It makes me think that Elton has to get done first, right? Like because that one seems so easy. Like it's just so easy. Like you know what I mean? Like the Zach Tom one. Obviously, it's going to be an extension.
Gonna be complicated.
Yeah, it's an extension. There's going to be it's going to be somewhere in the $80 to $90 million range of an extension. The guarantee is going to be the fun part in that. How are they going to do that? That's going to be the interesting part of that, because Green Bay does not want to guarantee money. But if you look at the right tackle contracts, like Lane and all these guys, and
you think he's 25 a year is about where he's going to settle? Because Sewell, I think, is 27.5 or 28. Lane Johnson's in the upper 20s.
Yeah, he's going to be in that 21.5 to 24 would be my guess.
Okay. Yeah. I am going to be fascinated to see if he holds out or holds in.
Yeah.
He's not going to hold out.
Yeah.
If he doesn't
he won't hold out, yeah.
If he doesn't practice, what is Green Bay going to do?
Because you haven't heard a peep from him.
What's that?
Yeah, you haven't heard a peep. You haven't heard a peep from Zach Tom.
He has said last year he didn't play as well, and that's where that whole Adam Stenavich competition thing. I really think they were playing mind jujitsu and saying, "Well, if you don't get in here, you're not going to be the guy." Well, then that got poo-pooed with Goody and everybody else, and they're obviously working through contract stuff. They're at least trying to get that ball rolling. It still doesn't make any sense. That's the only thing that made sense. And we'll see, because he will report, but I don't know if he's going to touch the field, because he's only going to be making $3.5 or $4 million when he should be making, in his mind, $25-26 million. So we shall see.
Yep, and look at it this way too. I know you guys are on a clock. He played last year. No, I'm going to say he played last year with that pack. People can say, "Oh, it was fixed." That thing was injured probably more than half the year.
Yeah, the strength wasn't coming back until you get an off season with it either.
Yeah. So he played through a major injury pretty much the entire year. So he gave them a lot last year. It's not like
and then people are poo-pooing him because he gave some stuff up, and then we're going to have competition. That just tells you, take care of yourself. And that's why when and if he does hold out, I don't want to hear a ton of fans saying, "Oh, he's got a contract. He's got this." No. Just remember how this played out. And I know that we're all there's Packer fans, and you want the organization to win. I get it. But just remember, and then remember, if Dame Lillard was in the NFL, they'd have said, "Deuces, B. Thank you for your service. We ain't giving you jack. And by the way, go rehab somewhere else." That's what happens in the NFL.
Yes, so, that is correct.
Zach Tom, get your money. Elton Jenkins, get your money.
Preach.
Brian Bulaga, thank you for the time. Even though you disparaged Squat Fest, we still enjoy your insights on the Green Bay Packers.
And see, then you just go right back. You just, you go full circle.
You're the one who started
Tausch put a bow on it, and then you go right back. That's what you do.
That's why we're never on the clock, because Jesse sees a bow and then he unties it and tries to.
That is exactly why that happens. Blue, enjoy the 4th of July. Hope you and the family have a great time this weekend, and we will catch up next week. Thank you.
All right, guys, take care.
Brian Bulaga on Wilde and Tausch and on ESPN Wisconsin. He'll be enjoying a few beverages over the 4th of July weekend. Tausch, I have a feeling you and I will both be cracking open some Coors Lights.
We will, and whether you're tailgating pregame, going to go fishing, going to go watch some fireworks, enjoy your experience and have a cold Coors Light. Coors Light is brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filter, and it's cold packaged, so it is made to chill. Make sure those mountains are blue. That's when you know it is chilled to perfection. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
I'm pretty good. On the show sheet, over-under, start of hour 2 set for 10:16. Look what time we got right now. Bang. 10 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. It's Jesse and Tausch on Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hey, it's Alex Stroh. What are the expectations for Jordan Love in year 3 as the starter for the Green Bay Packers? What will the Packers' new-look defense look like? And what are reasonable expectations for the Packers' record in 2025? We'll explore all of those questions on our annual State of the Packers show, Saturday, July 5th, live from Summerfest. Join me, Gabe Neitzel, and Jason Wilde from noon until 3 as we take a deep dive into the 2025 Green Bay team. It's State of the Packers, July 5th, beginning at noon, right here on ESPN Madison.
Hi, this is former Badger Pro Football Hall of Famer Joe Thomas. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison. Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. The Milwaukee Bucks were making roster moves at a frantic pace yesterday, so in case you missed it or lost track, here's a quick summary. The most consequential move of the day, Milwaukee waived Damian Lillard, stretching out his $113 million owed over the next 5 years, so they could afford to sign former Pacers center Miles Turner in a 4-year, $107 million deal. The Bucks also traded Pat Connaughton and 2 picks to the Hornets for Serbian guard Vasilije Micic. They also re-signed Jericho Sims and signed veteran guard Gary Harris to a 2-year deal. There's plenty of reaction from yesterday across ESPN Wisconsin, our social media platforms, and the ESPN Wisconsin app. The Brewers are also in action today with a doubleheader against the Mets after a rainout yesterday. Game 1 begins at 12:10 with pregame coverage beginning at 11:35 right here, ESPN Madison.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Wilde and Tausch kicks off at 10:18. We've done worse.
Yeah, we have. And I'm just looking up on the video screen here with Jason Wilde's 20 most important Packers. And I got a hard time. I understand that the league is built on skill guys and quarterbacks. I understand all that. But there's 22 starters on offense and defense. Something tells me those starters are going to be more important than Musgrave.
So we don't know who numbers 18 through 1 are. I have to imagine Jordan Love will be one of them.
I am going to guess that Elton Jenkins needs to be in the top 5.
Okay. Will he be the highest ranked offensive lineman?
Because he's moving spots, the uncertainty. I think he's such a linchpin to what Green Bay is trying to do. And without him, they like Monk. They think that he maybe can play, but they have no idea. And if they're going to try and do this in this power running game, and if they're going to go more 12 personnel, all right, better have a center that knows what they're doing. And that'll be Elton Jenkins.
Jason Wilde's list at channel3000.com. The first 2 have been unveiled. The top 20 most important Packers of 2025. Number 20, Luke Musgrave, the tight end. Number 19, Matthew Golden, the wide receiver. One of the big takeaways from Brian Bulaga's appearance before we play trivia, presented by Vortex Golf, coming up next. The conversation about the offensive linemen and Zach Tom and Elton Jenkins and getting this thing done before the start of camp. And really, when 4th of July is almost like the 7th inning stretch of the off season where, okay, it's crunch time. If this is a tie game, if this is like still going on, we don't see the end in sight. This is a concerning time to be in 3 weeks before training camp.
So typically the coaches, players, front office, they all take off the 4th of July weekend. And some will move it along and maybe take another week. And then you start, everybody comes into the office a week before and they start prepping out how training camp, they already have it all laid out, but they start going through the minutia of it and how it's going to go and what, if this happens, if it rains, they're figuring all that out. And that's where Goody and Russ Ball are going to look at it and say, all right, we know these are some hot button issues that are right on the front burner. How are we going to handle this? And this is where that whole deadline spur action comes into play because coaches hate distractions. These will be distractions. If both of these guys come into camp and aren't practicing because they need a new deal, I think you can handle it with one. But if 2/5 of your offensive line is not going to practice, that is a problem. and that sets back your entire operation. They're not going to let that happen. I could see one or the other not doing it. I would bet Russ Ball and Brian Gutekunst will figure it out and say, all right, we are going to get this thing. We're going to figure this out. And if there's one other one that's going to linger, okay, I can understand that. But that's how I see this thing going.
I did put a few wagers in at the Hard Rock Casino Rockford on Sunday night when we were there for the Terry Bradshaw show. I did not see on the NFL futures lines when Zach Tom and Elton Jenkins will get revised contracts, but when we were there for our show, when I was there on Sunday night, and you have plenty of chances before the start of the football season, you can get down and see what they have to offer on some Packers wagers and other things for the upcoming season.
Yeah, the show has a couple of fun ones, and we might dabble a little bit more as this thing keeps going, but we love our time down in Rockford, Illinois at the beautiful Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Features over 175,000 square feet of gaming and entertainment space, more than 1,300 slots, 50 live table games, a sports book, and a rock shop. And if you're hungry, guests can enjoy diverse dining options at the Hard Rock Cafe. You get Council Oak steak and seafood, bricked Italian kitchen, and my favorite, which at some point I am going to get to, and that is the UU Noodle Bar. The Hard Rock Live entertainment venue, where Bradshaw and everybody else goes, 23,000 square feet premium concert event space. It also features more than 1,000 feet of LED screens that will enhance the experience for up to 2,000 guests. Hard Rock Casino Rockford, a premier entertainment destination just off of I-90 in Rockford, Illinois, about an hour from the greater Madison area.
Those LED screens were fantastic for the Terry Bradshaw show on Sunday night. It was a really cool experience being in that venue for that show, and I'm sure all the shows
I heard
that come
nobody
through.
could do it like Terry.
No
That's
one.
what I heard.
He is one of one. There is no doubt about that. Trivia is not one of one because we're actually doing it twice today. We are not doing double trivia. We're going to play trivia once now and once in the 11 o'clock hour. Splitting up double Wisconsin Geography Wednesday trivia today here on Wilde and Tausch, presented by Vortex Golf. So for the first edition of Wisconsin Geography Wednesday, let's take caller 10 right now. Caller 10 at 844-770-3776. These questions are presented by my good buddy who I will see this weekend, Up North Joe, providing the questions for our first round of Wisconsin Geography Wednesday trivia, presented by Vortex Golf. Caller 10, 844-770-3776. Caller 10 plays Wilde and Tausch Trivia, Wisconsin Geography Wednesday, Part 1. Next on Wilde and Tausch.
By Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
It's always a beautiful experience coming out to the ballpark. Many fans prep in the parking lot amongst our legendary tailgaters. When you're ready for new windows and doors, prep for those at the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. See, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from different Pella lines side by side. And if you order by July 31st, get 0% interest for up to 5 years on Blue Mountain Road, or visit PellaWI.com today.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
The sound of summer is on ESPN Madison.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Madison's home of the Brewers.
At the track at the wall, jumped up. Jackson Chario brought it back.
Catch every Milwaukee Brewers game this season on 100.5 ESPN.
And watching it sail, it's a grand slam.
Brewers baseball on ESPN Madison is presented by Hard Rock Casino Rockford and brought to you by J&K Security Solutions and Revive Restoration.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, We have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com, because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you.
Play where the Badgers play and enjoy a round at University Ridge Golf Course, the official course of the University of Wisconsin. It's easy to see why University Ridge is consistently rated one of the best public courses in Wisconsin, winning awards every year since 1992. Whether it's a tournament, corporate event, or just a golf outing with family and friends, University Ridge Golf Course will make sure you have an enjoyable golf experience from start to finish. Book your tee time today at universityridge.com. That's universityridge.com.
Bandana? Check. Boots? Check. Gloves? Check. As a motorcycle rider in Wisconsin, you may go to great lengths to protect your image. Just be sure you're protecting yourself, too. Wear a Department of Transportation-approved helmet. Perform safety checks on your motorcycle. Know the traffic laws and don't take risks. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve zero preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. Zero in Wisconsin. Together, we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
Join me, Gwen Mahoney, your 2025 Dane County Fairest of the Fair at the Dane County Fair at the Align Energy Center July 17th through the 20th. There are daily activities and entertainment, including stunt, dinosaur, and magic shows, tractor and carnival rides, animals, and more. The Dane County Fair is fun for all ages. We'd like to thank our Supreme Grand Champion sponsor, Miller & Son Supermarket, and our Grand Champion sponsors, Blaine's Farm and Fleet and Everlight Solar. I hope to see you there July 17th through the 20th. For more information, visit DaneCountyFair.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Tausch back with you. Jesse and Tausch today. Jason Wilde taking a couple of days off heading into the 4th of July weekend, but you can catch him on Saturday afternoon, the State of the Packers at Summerfest, along with Gabe Neitzel and Alex Strofe. Noon to 3 Saturday afternoon, State of the Packers at Summerfest, featuring Jason Wilde, one of our favorite shows of the year. We hope you're able to tune in on Saturday afternoon. If you can't, make sure you subscribe. You'll find it on the ESPN Wisconsin app, the Green and Gold Fix podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts as well, because you're going to want to catch up on that over the 4th of July weekend and hear the insights from Jason, from Gabe, from Strophe, and the fun that they have on the Summerfest grounds. I don't think where is Summerfest will be one of our questions for Wisconsin Geography Wednesday. Feels like it'd be a little too much of a layup. But we're going to find out, as it is time now to play Wilde and Tausch Trivia, presented by Vortex Golf.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
And it's a rare day with Tausch in studio. He is going to ask at least one of our questions for Wisconsin Geography Wednesday.
Why is that rare?
Because normally you play along for Wisconsin Geography. You like to...
Yeah,
but
I get what
it's too in your face. I've got the answers right in front of you, you'll actually ask a question or two here.
All right.
Let's welcome in our contestant again. This is part 1. We will play part 2 a little bit later in the show. Greg in Madison. Welcome to Wilde and Tausch. How are you?
Thanks, guys. I'm doing great.
That is fantastic news, Greg. Wisconsin Geography Wednesday is our Wilde and Tausch trivia category. I will ask you question number 1. Tausch, you get ready for question 2 here. Question number 1, Greg. Sources different. Again, these are from my buddy up north, Joe. So any grievances or complaints about these questions can be filed, and I will put them away up north around the fire this weekend. Question 1. Sources differ as to whether the name of Adams County honors the second president of the United States, John Adams, or which of these other historical U.S. figures? Is it Samuel Adams, John Quincy Adams, or Devontae Adams?
John Quincy Adams.
That is correct. Would you have you ever heard of this debate whether
I have
Adams
not.
County is named after John Adams or his son John Quincy
No,
Adams?
I didn't even, to be honest with you, I wasn't even sure there was an Adams County. I just know Adams Friendship.
Yeah.
So, nailed it.
Could have been after Kay Adams.
That's true. She's doing a nice job recruiting the players to the G&G. All right. Which of the following communities is not at least partially located in Adams County? Is it Friendship, Wisconsin Dells, or Mauston?
It's a tough second question.
Mauston.
Nailed it.
Mauston in, do you know it?
I don't.
Juneau County.
Juneau
County for Mauston.
Blue buses. Mauston.
And
Blue
so,
buses.
I did help Joe out a little bit with this one because he originally it just said which of these is not in Adams County. Wisconsin Dells is actually in like 3 or 4 different counties. It's right on the border.
Right?
So it's in Adams. It's in is it Baraboo County? I think it's partial Dane, maybe. I'll have to check which ones it all is, but it's right on the. It's like the 4 corners of the United States.
Okay.
That's where the Dells is located, counties-wise.
Gotcha.
So had to help Joe out a little bit there. Greg, good news. You're 2 for 2. Got a chance to go a perfect 3 for 3 with question number 3, and I don't know how to say it. Have you heard of this? State Park.
I have heard of it.
I'm going to try to say it. Do you know how to say
I'll
it?
critique you after you say it.
Roche-a-Cry? Roche-a-Cree?
I think it's Cry.
ROCHE-A-CRI. Roche-a-Cree, Roche-a-Cree, Roche-a-Cry.
I've heard it triple
State
ways.
Park. I've never heard of it. Roche-a-Cry State Park, we'll go with. Located in Friendship in Adams County. Protects a 300-foot-high rock, outcropping, and Native American petroglyphs and pictographs. Thanks, Joe.
Hey, up north, Joe's messing with you.
Thanks, Joe. The name Roche-a-Cry comes from French words meaning what? I don't know what I just read, and I wrote this earlier this morning. I just went verbatim what he wrote down. I don't know what this is. Roche-a-Cry State Park, located in Friendship, protects a 300-foot-high rock outcropping and Native American petroglyphs and pictographs. The name Roche-a-Cry comes from a French word meaning what? Screaming rocks, river that meanders through something red, or see you next time. Greg, are you there? Do you understand what I'm asking you?
I have no idea what you're asking me.
What does Roche-a-Cry mean for Roche-a-Cry State Park, which is in Friendship?
Screaming rock.
I don't know how we got here, but you got it right. Does this warrant a suspension for Up North, Joe?
No, it's interesting. Obviously, it was hard, but it's the third question, and now we know that however we're going to say Roche-a-Cry means screaming rocks. So I think that's good.
Learned something new today.
That's what trivia is about, Jesse. He's learning something.
And thank you to Brett and Madison on the text line. Wisconsin Dells is in Columbia, Sauk, Adams, and Juneau counties. 4 counties.
That's a lot of counties.
For Wisconsin Dells. Greg, nice job. 3 for 3 of all 4 entries for our Vortex swag bag prize drawing, which will take place tomorrow if we don't forget before the conclusion of the show. Thanks for playing. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you have a great 4th of July weekend, Greg.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a great day.
Greg and Madison, contestant number 1 for Wilde and Tausch Trivia presented by Vortex Golf. We will have a second round coming up in the 11 o'clock hour.
And we have a second round with UW Credit Union. Right now, for every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Proudly serving Wisconsin, doesn't matter what county you're in. For over 90 years, they're going to help you reach your financial goals. And people ask me, why did you join UW Credit Union, Old T? Well, Keeping my banking local? Yep. Member first service? Absolutely. And you got great perks like early payday. But honestly, I just love Bucky. Cute little rascal. And I love having that on my Bucky card, my UW Credit Union member card as well. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes you do crazy things, but man, this makes sense. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions to apply.
Homer was joined by ESPN NBA insider Brian Windhorst yesterday afternoon on the Homer Hour, our guy. We'll hear what Homer's big takeaways were from that conversation, his thoughts on the Dame and Miles Turner moves, and plenty more. That is straight ahead. Homer joins us next on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Hey, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. Build a customized renter's policy with American Family Insurance so you can protect your tandem bike on the go. Thief! Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Some exclusions may apply. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Zimbrick Honda and ESPN Medicine present the Game Changers of the Month, recognizing the area's best high school sports stories about those who make a positive impact in their community. Here's Pablo Iglesias with Zimbrick Honda's Game Changers of the Month.
I am joined by a special guest, Dr. Joe Gothard, Superintendent of the Madison Metropolitan School District. Sport has always been your platform. You've used that. You were a coach at Madison La Follette. Your path has taken you so far. How do you still view yourself as a coach in your role today?
I think as far back as I can remember, some of my earliest memories of community and coming together and being part of something, bigger than perhaps myself or family, are the teams that I played on as a kid. I step into many gymnasiums today and I tell the students I used to play here. But it's just always meant a lot to me. And I think it's something I want to give back.
Follow ESPN Madison on YouTube and on Facebook for more with the Game Changers of the Month, presented by Zimbrick Honda.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Siding Unlimited recently installed 20 brand new amazing energy efficient windows. Our Siding Unlimited crew removed the old windows, inspected the wall for wood rot, installed the new beautiful windows, and cleaned up behind ourselves. It was easy to get started. The homeowner met us at our amazing showroom on 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. Trust me, our showroom is a must-see. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
Baseball is back. Brian Bulaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Whether you're in the market for a new or new-to-you vehicle, Metro Ford of Madison has the customer service that's second to none. With a legacy of excellence and an extensive selection of quality Ford vehicles, it's the place to go for the new Ford of your dreams. Browse their inventory, schedule a service, or see this month's offers at MetroFordofMadison.com. That's MetroFordofMadison.com. Or visit them on the east side of Madison today.
This is our crew.
A drive, left center, deep. See you later.
You're listening to Madison's new home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball, 100.5 ESPN.
Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. You're making love or starting the schoolyard fight. Make sure you do it right.
You know what that music means.
Make sure you do it
Joining us now, host of the Homer Hour, weekdays from 5 to 6 on ESPN Wisconsin, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. He was joined by ESPN NBA insider Brian Windhorst on yesterday's program. And we're a little jealous. We like Windy. I wish I had the skills to book him myself.
Has pulled that off because Windy's the man when it comes to this stuff.
Homer, good morning. How are you and how was Windy yesterday?
I'm sorry, that's not the... We've got breaking news. This is. I mean, I'm assuming you've talked about it, but maybe not.
Probably not.
The greatest halftime entertainer in the history of the game of basketball. Who would that be?
Red Panda.
Red Panda.
She's hurt.
What is? I saw she busted her wrist up last night. What is the verdict on it?
I mean, she fell off her unicycle. Injured her wrist. He was doing the WNBA game.
Yep.
I don't have any update. But
well, then what's the breaking news about it?
That she's on the injured list.
Have you talked about it? Have you mentioned it?
We have not brought up that Red Panda is on the injured list.
I talked about it on WTMJ this morning. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You did.
I did. Yeah.
Apparently,
and I agree with.
ESPN
By the way, Homer,
count?
I agree with you. There's nobody the longevity that she's had.
She's the best.
She's really good.
It's like Michael Jordan has a wrist injury. It's a big deal. She's the Michael Jordan of basketball halftime show.
But, Homer, how many people come for the halftime show, though? If she can't be the Michael Jordan. I guess the Michael Jordan of halftime shows, I get away. Yeah,
okay, fine.
But you're not going to a game for the halftime
any
show.
other halftime, whatever the number is, it's more than any other halftime act in the history of basketball.
Totally agree. The other
All
one
right.
I like is when they do the trampoline slam dunks. Those are fun, too.
Who's the guy who says hands up, hands down? That guy's
Oh, Simon Says guy. Yeah.
Simon Says.
He was
He's
good.
Okay. If
Yeah.
not for Red Panda, he would be.
No.
Yeah, Simon
Simon
Says
like
guy
LeBron.
is really good.
I don't even. No.
He just had a clip the other day that I was
Oh,
watching.
I think
It's
Red
so
Rover.
funny.
I think Red Rover guy's better.
There's
Come
no
on.
Red Rover. You don't know Simon Says guy
but
unless you've
again,
seen it.
I haven't.
Anybody offended by any comparison to Red Panda?
Yeah, Red Panda's the GOAT.
Maybe.
Totally
That's
agree.
not that is. I
Homer-
stretched it a little too much.
Homer, how many people could ride a 10-foot high unicycle without flipping the cups? How many people? What percentage of the American population could plop their keister up on a 10-foot high and just balance that for 3 minutes?
I have no idea. I'll go by whatever.
Well, what percent? I mean, you're Johnny percentage.
3%, less than 1%.
I was going to say less than 10%. You think?
No, less than 1. Less
Okay.
than 1. Come on.
All right. So, Homer, what did you glean from the great Brian Windhorst yesterday after the big news broke about Dalla Dame and about Miles
Right.
Turner? What did you glean from him?
This is so outrageously crazy by NBA standards. Understand that this is the largest waiver ever. They just said, here's $113 million. I don't know what the second largest waiver ever, but it's the largest waiver ever. Which, what does that mean? That means in any such situation in the past, teams have gone, what are you, crazy? We're not doing that. In addition to that, this is like 2 injuries to the Red Panda. This stretch, the way that you can take the contract and do it against the cap is crazy. The largest, now this is $113 million over 5 years because the rule allows you to double it and add 1. But anyway, the largest before 113 was $27 million, and it was 5 years ago. The point being that owners have said, well, like what, a 23rd stretch? Forget it. We're not doing that. That's too much. The largest was 27, and the Bucks did 113. There is no comparison. There's no way to judge because nothing has ever been done anything close to this in terms of, one, giving the money, and two, the hit on the cap. That is the biggest, most important thing. He said it, and it hasn't been mentioned often enough. Whatever you think of the deal, understand that the Bucks did something, he said some would call it insane. He said it, he doesn't call it insane. He calls it, I can't remember, incredulous, I think is what he said. That must be the starting point for everyone. The degree that the Bucks went, I say, to help keep Giannis, but also, I think the other important part, I don't believe they ever would have done this except for the fact that they have a one-year hit next year when two better teams are missing a player because of an Achilles injury. They're also missing one with Lillard. But that means the Bucks can say right now they're arguably the second or third best team in the East only for 1 year. That's why they did what they did with Lillard. If there had been no 1 year bonus, I don't believe they would have done what they did.
Well, I also, Homer, I think if Halliburton doesn't rip his Achilles up, Pacers don't let Turner go.
Right. Yes, this is so the Bucks also get kind of a Drew Holiday. They not only add a player, they hurt their opponent as well.
But it seems like in the Hoop Collective guys, Windy and Bontemps and that crew, they're not overly impressed. They think that this is, I think you said, incredulous. It's 5 years. They're going to be no draft picks. They haven't even started paying off the draft pick component to Dalla Dame, that trade. Now they're basically paying Miles Turner $50 million a year when you factor in the stretch $23 million, and they don't think he's worth it. They don't think it's even that big of an upgrade outside of the age of what they've gotten with Brook Lopez. And if that is the case, then this is crazy, right? If Miles Turner isn't markedly better than Brook Lopez, this move is crazy.
Well, the age factors in. You assume Lopez is going to get worse. Not the case Turner. But I said it's all about this next year. I mean, look at how good. Forget all of that. Look at how good the Bucks are now, next year, versus what they were before this deal. Just next year.
Homer, how much better do you think they are?
Well, I mean, they had no Lopez. Lopez was already gone. There's no way. No one thought that they were going to add a player of this ability because no one considered it possible. It's like you would have said, okay, the Bucks are going to add a player like Miles Turner because they're going to find an alien on the moon who's going to swim to Earth and get. It wasn't ever considered by anyone because no one had ever thought of giving away this kind of money, $113 million, and dealing with, as you said, the cap hit over the next 5 years.
Doesn't
But
this?
for next year, it's worth it. What are they? 100? What are they? Okay, look at the team before Turner and after Turner. After Lopez is gone, you can't compare him to Lopez because he was gone.
Okay, we still need a point guard. There's still a lot of things, but what I will say is for everybody that is saying that you can look at other teams in the state, the Bucks constantly push the envelope, and they're not afraid to spend that money because you said it. Everybody is fighting to stay in that first apron, not the second, because of the punitive damage, luxury tax, etc. The Bucks have done that. Now they have a devastating injury to one of their supermax players, and they say, blanket, we're gonna do this whole stretch deal and go again to it. And at best, most people have the Bucks 4th or 5th in the Eastern Conference, even with these moves. But the ownership group said, this is what we're doing because we want to keep Giannis and we want to stay relevant and we want to keep chasing championships. And for that, I do think that this group needs an attaboy and a hat tip.
But the only way they could say that is because of what Boston and Indiana are next year. They could never say that if those teams had not had the injuries. By the way, they're not pushing the envelope. It's like pushing, I don't know, because it's 10 times greater than that.
Okay. Okay. I thought you were going to undersell it. Okay.
No. The degree of risk and what they're doing, and it also probably says to me that the guy from Cleveland, I've forgotten his name, is going to buy the team. There's no way that
Jimmy has
James J. Haslam.
There's no way that what's his name would have ever done this.
I think I agree.
Who's the other?
I think I agree with you. Lazary.
Yeah, Lazary.
Yeah, no, not Lazary.
Edens?
The other guy.
Well, Lazary
there's
left.
No way Edens would do this in 100 years.
Okay.
Edens is going to sell. Well, Eden is selling his portion of the team in the near future and getting all the money that Lazary got.
You're reporting this or you're guessing this?
I'm guessing this.
Oh.
There's no.
You said it really
I'm not
confidently.
guessing this. There is no way. There is no way. Do whatever you want. There's no way Edens, if in control, Edens
Do
would
whatever
have
I
ever
want.
done that.
You just said it. I
He
didn't
is-
say
He
it.
is doing this because he's going to get big money for his ownership, just
Yeah.
like Lazary did.
Okay.
He's on his way out. We're just deciding when, not if. No way he would have come close to doing this.
Okay,
This
what
is-
did Wendy?
That's what I'm saying.
What did Wendy or you or whoever else you had on your show
John
yesterday?
Anderson was
John
there, yeah.
Anderson. Is this now? We're lock stock. Giannis is definitely here for this season now. Is that kind of the vibe? I mean, that's how I feel.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what this was about, more so than anything else.
It was about that, yes. And anybody who argued that, because I said last year you had to worry that it could be his last year.
Yeah, you were wrong on that. You
I
were
was
first, but
100%
you were
right.
wrong if he doesn't get traded.
I was 100% right because
You
all
can't-
this is being
You said he was
done.
going to be
Hold
gone.
Hold on.
Okay.
All this is being, yes, I was wrong that he didn't go, but all this is being done because everything is different now than it was all the other years when all these other people, not
You
me
mean when they
included,
traded
said
for
he might
Dame
go.
and did literally the exact same thing to keep Giannis happy and try to extend his
No.
window? No?
Well, no.
Oh, okay.
The
That doesn't-
situation was 100 times worse.
I would agree that this situation was more
So,
dire.
yes, I was wrong that he didn't leave, but I had when it takes the largest waiver and stretch ever, the degree to which, I didn't see the alien coming from Mars swimming and then coming and solving it. Yes,
Hey, Homer.
I was wrong because I did not see that alien.
Homer, you don't
That's
need-
how bizarre,
Homer.
that's how amazing, incredible this is. This
Homer,
is like
you don't
an
need to
alien.
you don't need to do all that. When you're doing this, and we're not all going to bat 1,000. I mean, I'm probably closest of the teammates here, but you're going to get some stuff wrong. It's okay to say, you know what, man, I was wrong. Not
Part of it,
I
part of
wasn't
it, I
wrong.
was wrong.
It was an alien that swam down,
No,
and that's why we had to do it. No,
I
Homer,
admitted
you're right or you're
I
wrong,
said
and you're
part
wrong.
Of it I was wrong. No,
you're wrong.
I was wrong. Yes, that
Okay.
part of it was wrong.
All right.
The fact that it was a different.
No, all of it's
situation
wrong.
than
But he
the
was
Bucks
100%
dealt with.
Homer, you're either right or wrong. This isn't.
No,
I'm
you
half
have,
right.
You have different points that you make that can be correct, even though I was wrong that it didn't
Okay.
leave.
All right.
Tausch says Christian Watts will be back by Halloween
I
of
think
next
he's
year.
No,
100%
we'll
right.
see how we have to maneuver
for
that.
example, let me give you an example
All right, go
there.
ahead.
If he doesn't come back because an alien shows up and prevents him from coming back, he will be wrong.
All right.
But what it took for him to be wrong
Aliens.
was off the chart.
Yeah, well, you never know.
No,
Homer, can
you
we
think
now?
I'm exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating.
No, you
to
are
the
exaggerating.
degree That the Bucks went. No, that's how crazy this is.
No, it's not that crazy. This was
You
the stretch.
can't explain it. You said a push of the envelope. That's wrong. It's a push of.
What? Push of what?
Well, when nobody has ever
No,
done
what
it
is it? It's
before,
not an
and
envelope.
you
What
do
is it?
I don't know what pushing bigger than pushing
The entire
envelope is.
file cabinet.
Oh, that would be better.
I think
File
this is-
cabinet.
people need to view this
safe.
as similar to
Manila
an
folder.
alien joining the Bucks team.
Okay.
That's how it is.
All right, so Homer,
Because
can we
yes.
look back at this now and say that this Dame trade, this pains me to say this, was an utter disaster?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was a disaster because of injuries more than
But that's
anything.
life,
And the disaster was getting rid of the coach and getting rid of Holiday. They should have just regrouped and put the same people back, understanding it was about injuries. That was the mistake.
They panicked,
Yeah,
is what you're
they
saying.
lost to the Heat in the first round, and they panicked, and they should have just ran it back.
Still realizing that Middleton was breaking down more, they needed somebody that could score late. Giannis was not going to score late because they'd foul him. You saw the hot potato game. That's why I liked that they swung for the fences, but sometimes you strike out. And this was a big boy strikeout, and it's a strikeout that isn't just one game. This is going to last a while because we haven't even started. You're talking about the cap hit, but there's 3 first-round picks that are going to Portland, and I think, unfortunately, Milwaukee, if and when Giannis leaves, or if this thing doesn't turn, those are going to be very high picks down the road in 2030, whatever that might look like. This was a huge strikeout, swing and a miss. And for as much as I agreed with the decision at the time, sometimes in sports, things just don't work. This didn't work. And when you leverage your future like you did, I just hope it doesn't reverberate through for a long time. But unfortunately, a lot of times that is how it plays.
But it might. But again, I want to emphasize that I'm not in that camp. I'm in the camp that they had the issue that you addressed, but they needed to not get rid of the coach and not get rid of Holiday, and then do the best they can with the specific area you talked of. They made it number one. It should have been more important than the mistake of getting Lillard was getting rid of the coach and getting rid of Holiday. Those were 2 mistakes bigger than.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't seem. Drew Holiday's great, and he helped Boston win a championship, but he is a 3rd or 4th piece.
Whatever.
Well, no, he is.
Yeah, but if you have Giannis and Middleton, if you felt good about
Middleton was starting to wind. You needed to upgrade Middleton, but you couldn't get Dame with Middleton.
No. In some areas, he's way more important than 3rd or 4th piece. I believe on that Bucks team, he was the 2nd most important piece because of the skills he had that no one else could equal.
So, what are the expectations now for you with the East being beaten down, as you put it, and the Bucks? What did you say? Can you let me ask my question?
No, he said top 4.
Ask your question.
All
what
right.
are your expectations?
All right, no.
You don't have to ask a Wilde question. You can ask a Tausch
That's fair.
question.
All right, so
what are your expectations?
So top 4.
Eastern Conference top 4.
Does that mean 4 or does that mean 2?
Hold on. Top 4, and I think it's okay if you demand Eastern Conference final.
Okay.
Because they do the difference between those 2 will be determined by what they do from now on. If they do nothing, then it's top 4 in the East. But I think they'll do something to deal with the guard situation. They have to.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
You called it. Yeah.
They are going to have to.
They got room now because of the alien decision by the Bucks owners.
And it cost you being right on something that you were way out of front.
I said this, and you can check my tweets. I'm happy to be right because Giannis is back, and the mistake I made was not to believe somehow Giannis will stay because that's Giannis.
So,
and it
Homer,
increases the greatness.
So let me ask you this then. Do you think you would have been right had they not done this alien move and signed Turner? If Turner doesn't come, you believe Giannis would have asked out?
I'm not going to go there now because that's the mistake I made. I
thought you didn't make a mistake. I thought you were right.
Well, I was wrong that he would leave. Wrong that he would leave. I just didn't think it would take an alien to keep him. But I'm not going to go against Giannis again. I don't care what it looks like. I'll believe he's gone when he's gone. He has earned that level of respect as a great human being.
Smart.
And with that,
I don't want to mess up again.
We'll leave you with that, Homer. Thank you so much. We look forward to hearing what you say on the Homer Hour later today at 5 o'clock.
Bye.
Steve the Homer True, weekdays at 5, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, the Homer Hour. Catch him every day and on the ESPN Wisconsin app. Gruber Law Offices. If Jason was here, he'd tell you about David Gruber and the team, and he hopes you never have to make the call, but if you do...
Why don't you do a Jason Wilde impression? You always, when I'm gone, it's like, Mark Dowser here!
Jason doesn't have he's not as iconic as you.
You're telling me Jason, he pauses and he does, I haven't needed to use it, but if I did, you're not going to do any of that. You're just going to read it.
I'll work on it for tomorrow.
Okay, do it in Tom Izzo's voice then.
No. It's really rich.
Getting the pirate voice.
Getting impression advice from you is really something. David Gruber and Gruber Law Offices, we hope you never have to make the call, but if you do, you can call David Gruber and the team at Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 30 years and a proud partner of Wilde and Tausch. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all. We still have one more segment to go here in the 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. We'll get to that coming up next.
We're on the Bucks.
Dame Lillard, by all accounts, is a good dude. He's a good teammate.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
He's obviously one of the top 75 players of all time, but it didn't work in Milwaukee.
100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Bucks.
What's in your summer survival kit? Mark Tausch here, and I'll tell you what should be. A cooler full of drinks, a comfy lawn chair, and for just $12.99, a large Hut Lovers pizza from Pizza Hut. For a limited time, choose from 4 loaded legends, meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, veggie lovers, and the spicy Hawaiian for just $12.99. Hot, melty, and made to crush hunger. A perfect summer go-to order. Order up before it's gone on the Pizza Hut app. And remember, nobody out-pizzas the Hut. Additional charge for extra toppings, pan, stuffed crust, and extra cheese.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Their Memorial Day sale has been extended. Last chance to save 10% off store-wide and take advantage of Steinhoffels' 18-month 0% financing only at
Melvin
Steinhoffels.
Gordon, a prime ambassador to defend Wisconsin's RBU legacy. The Badger legend back in Madison for the Vibes Golf Tournament last weekend. Flash with more on why running the rock is a team effort during his appearance on ESPN Madison's Saturday Scramble.
And when people doubt you, that's when people dig in and find that hunger and find that nastiness. We got to get back. I seen a couple old linemen, and I was just like, hey, it starts with you guys. I was only as good as my offensive linemen, only as good as those guys blocking for me up front. You know, as long as I knew I had them, I knew.
For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella experience. Get 0% interest for up to 5 years if you order by July 31st at PellaWI.com.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Hey, it's Alex Strofe. What are the expectations for the 2025 Green Bay Packers? A 3-hour deep dive is coming with me, Gabe Neitzel, and Jason Wilde. Our annual State of the Packers show coming up July 5th from noon until 3 right here on ESPN Madison.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris are joined by Zach Harper of The Athletic. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
I'm John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. We've been at the heart of many magical moments, from engagements to weddings to sweet 16s. It warms my heart to be a part of these moments for 40 years with people I consider family. With the highest standards and an eye for classic beauty, enjoy a warm boutique setting at Goodman's Jewelers, where integrity shines in every gem. At 220 State Street, Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store, Madison, since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
If you're a motorist of the four-wheel variety, please watch out for those of us in Wisconsin who do their traveling on 2 wheels. Adjust your mirrors to reduce your blind spots. Allow motorcyclists a full lane width. Use your turn signal when merging or changing lanes. And allow more following distance between you and the motorcycle. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve 0 preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. 0 in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Willie Tausch continues Jesse and Tausch today with Jason Wilde off, heading into the 4th of July weekend. Special thanks to Homer, Steve the Homer True of the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin, for joining us last segment, talking about his insights after catching up with Brian Windhorst of ESPN on the Damian Lillard and Miles Turner moves, plus everything else the Bucks have been up to in the last 48 hours. Been a crazy whirlwind.
Do we feel like it was a little bit of a sugar high, and now listening to more educated basketball folks than I am? It's not a large population, but there is a population.
There's a few of them out there.
But when I was watching Get Up and this led their show today, it made me pause and think of the big price that we're paying. And that, you put stuff on layaway, or you put stuff with, all of our deals, whether it's Kohler or, Pella, you get all this free interest, right? That's not the NBA. There's no zero interest. There's a big bill to pay that we haven't even started looking at, and we have not gotten out of the first round in 3 years. And now we doubled down, and I love the fact that the Milwaukee Bucks front office is aggressive. Keeping Giannis is critical. But when I heard the Windies and the Bontemps, these folks that cover this stuff religiously, and nobody is impressed. It's kind of a desperate blah. I'm starting to kind of come and be like, oh, maybe all that excitement yesterday of Miles Turner and the stretch 5 and being able to shoot, and then you find out he only shoots 36%. He shot 36% from 3. I thought he was over 40. Okay. I like the move. I think it's good. But is it going to elevate this team to an opportunity? It's definitely better than where we were. But is it going to be even close to the price? And I think, looking back, how bad that decision was, even though I agree with it and I still understand why they did it, the Dollar Dame decision and the price that we paid is going to be something that is going to be hanging around Milwaukee Bucks fans and the organization's neck like an albatross on top of an albatross. And whether or not everybody's necks are going to be strong enough to stay afloat, we're going to find out. But let me tell you something. It's going to get heavier and heavier. Right now, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, can move around a little bit. But you lose some games, and all of a sudden it's 2028. That thing's going to be an 800-pound anchor. And then at 29, it's going to be a ship. And I don't think guys' necks are going to be strong enough to hold up a ship. And then by 2030, my guess is we're going to be taking on a lot of water.
Well, I tell you what, we'll address some of those concerns to kick off the 11 o'clock hour coming up, because I have a couple of thoughts I want to share on that, too. We do know no matter what the prices are, Quick Trip is super affordable, and they have so many great deals all the time.
It is the best, and actually lets you earn money. Gear up for Quick Trip's Mountain Dew Quick Climb. Every sip gets you closer to the summit. From now till August 17th, play every day for free right in the Quick Rewards app. You can score bonus plays with every eligible item that you grab, like an ice cold Pepsi, a bold Mountain Dew. You get that hydrating Gatorade or Propel. Earn 2 bonus plays with hot food. The cash prize climbs by $5,000, stacking higher and higher until one player will reach that summit of $250K. So get climbing now in your Quick Rewards app. And deals, it's July and deals are coming. Quickery white bread, 99 cents a loaf. Kitchen Cravings, 73% lean ground beef, $2.99 a pound. Simply potatoes, shredded hash browns, $1.99 for a 20-ounce bag. Life is busy. Quick Trip is here to help. Get on down. Take advantage of everything that Quick Trip has to offer, like rewards on every purchase, and you can order ahead. Quick Trip. It's great this weekend. You got all these cookouts and everything else. And somebody's got to get buns. Oh, you got to grab ketchup. Oh, pickles. Boom, boom, boom. Quick Trip will have you covered. We'll see you next time.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch, where we'll continue to dissect what happened with the free agency flurry for the Milwaukee Bucks yesterday, and whether we like it or if it's going to be a hindrance for the franchise for the next several years. We'll address that in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Get ready to unleash the dragon at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Introducing the region's very first $1 million Dragon Link slot game. Feel the thrill, chase the excitement, and win big with jackpots soaring to $1 million. Your chance to hit it big is here. Come experience the ultimate gaming adventure. Visit Hard Rock Casino Rockford today and play the $1 million Dragon Link slot game. Your legendary win awaits. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's hard rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Sports Center update. Brought to you by Celebrations Entertainment. Complete event services for weddings, corporate events, nonprofit events, outdoor movies, casino nights, and much more. Go to celebrationsentertainment.com to get started today. Just heard us talking about it. The Milwaukee Bucks were making roster moves at an absolute breakneck pace yesterday, so in case you missed it, need a refresher, here's a quick summary. In the most consequential move of the day, Milwaukee waived Damian Lillard, stretching out the $113 million they owe him over the next 5 years. This is the largest contract waiver in NBA history, so they could afford to sign former Pacers center Miles Turner in a 4-year, $107 million deal. The Bucks also traded Pat Connaughton and 2 picks to the Hornets for Serbian guard Vasilije Micic. They re-signed center Jericho Sims and signed veteran guard Gary Harris to a 2-year deal. The Brewers are also back in action today with a doubleheader against the Mets after some rain postponed yesterday's affair. Game 1 begins at 12:10 Central with pregame at 11:35.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and on YouTube. No Jason Wilde today. No Jason Wilde tomorrow as well. Jesse and Tausch holding it down with Riley out. And is our cousin sub of the day producing today's show. We do have a second round of Wilde and Tausch trivia on a Wisconsin Geography Wednesday coming up next. So if you're interested in playing or want to play along at home, don't go anywhere. That's coming up next. But I want to continue the conversation about Giannis and the Bucks and the moves that the Bucks made in free agency yesterday. So Tausch, you have some reservations and some hesitations now 24 hours removed.
I think it's if you have kids, you give them a bunch of sugar and they're all jacked up and fired up and running around and life is great, and then the sugar high crashes. I'm feeling a little bit of that.
You're
today.
Feeling the sugar high crash today.
I guess I was excited because it started out, we signed the best free agent big guy available. Brook Lopez leaves. We all kind of thought he's getting a little long in the tooth. We need rim protection and someone that could a stretch 5 that you can play with Giannis. Perfect fit. Awesome. And then you start looking at the ramifications of it. Milwaukee basically has brought back a lot of the same guys from last year's back end of their team. You still have Kuz. There's still, whether or not we can chase down a championship, I'd say it's unlikely at this point, but it's better than what it was. But then when you start hearing of all of the price that you paid and what you got from Dalla Dame and what you're going to still have to pay him, that's going to hurt your cap. If it was just a 113 and that was it, I like it more, but now it's another 20-some-odd million that you're not going to be able to get other players, and you don't have draft picks. And are you that much closer to a championship? You're better than you were, but does that mean you're good enough to do it? And I think Homer's point with Boston and Indy both missing their star guys for an extended period of time, Dame is going to be a high-priority free agent for somebody else. Is he going to go to the Heat or the Celtics and end up coming back to bite you? Like, there's just so much other stuff that I hadn't really thought through completely. And today, after listening to some of these experts get into it, it's a big year. It's a big year for Milwaukee. And if things don't go well, it's going to be one ugly, ugly hangover.
Maybe I'm still on the sugar high, but I am excited about what they did yesterday.
I was excited yesterday. I'm less excited today.
I'm excited still because this show, they don't make the Miles Turner move if they don't know that they're going to be running this thing back with Giannis. That's my perception of this thing. You don't make this move. You don't make that financial commitment
for this year.
For this particular year, knowing that you think you can still win a championship when having the best player on the floor in the Eastern Conference, and you get a chance to win a best-of-7 series. The Bucks legitimately believe that they are in position to do that with Giannis on the floor healthy, and with the addition of Miles Turner and the other pieces that they have. They all the moves they made, Bobby Portis, Gary, all the moves, to me indicate that they believe that they can still be the best team in the Eastern Conference next year. With the landscape being what it is, for Tatum being out with the Celtics, for Halliburton being out with the Pacers, for the Knicks not knowing who their head coach is going to be yet. Like, all these things play a factor. If the Magic and the Hawks are the other teams that have stock up in the offseason, I feel good that the Bucks are now in that same conversation with those other teams about being contenders in the East next year. I think the Bucks realize that, and that's why they made the decisions that they did to appease Giannis, to bring him back, to make sure that they're going to still have a chance to compete in the East next year. And then you figure it out after that, because the NBA changes so frequently that you don't know what it's going to look like 2 years from now, 3 years from now. There's all these crazy changes that can happen everywhere. You can only focus on when you have the best player in the world that we believe Giannis is. When he is on the team, you do everything you can to win a championship every time. And if it means a couple of years down the road, it's going to be a rebuild and there's going to be some difficult situations, that's okay if it gives you a chance to be in the mix to win another title this year.
Yeah, but in the mix is just different. Like, in the mix, what does that mean?
But there is no clear-cut team that's above the rest in
Cavaliers
the East going into the... We don't even mention them when we talk about all these other... Yeah, you do.
New York is.
But everyone else is talking Knicks and Celtics and Pacers
Celtics,
and
nobody's talking.
Hawks and Magic.
They've gutted a big chunk of their team, and I still think Celtics-Bucks right now, it's probably a coin toss.
But the Cavs bowed out in an ugly way in the second round of the playoffs this year.
The Bucks have been out of the first round the last 3 years.
If the Bucks played the Cavs in the playoffs, would Giannis be the best player on the floor?
I went to a Bucks-Cavs game at Fiserv on a Sunday night, and the Cavs just beat us into the dirt.
Understood. But if the Bucks played the Cavs in the playoffs, is Giannis the
we were
best?
Fully healthy. Dame was playing.
Is Giannis the best player on the floor? Then that gives me all the hope I need as a Bucks fan. If we have the best player on the floor, the NBA is not football. It doesn't matter if you have the best quarterback and everyone else around you sucks. If Giannis is on the floor, the Bucks have a chance to beat any team. I believe that. I've believed that for 8 years.
Well, you've been wrong 7.
But I was right 1.
It's fair.
And we don't know a couple of them because he was hurt.
I guess
we don't know where they would have gone.
I guess I'm just realistically looking at it and saying, yeah, the Bucks are better. How long is this going to keep Giannis here? Because now it is a year-to-year deal. And if this thing implodes, I guess you could trade Giannis and get a bunch of picks. But there's probably ways that you could do that still. That would be kind of where you're at. But I don't feel as good. I just don't. I felt really good yesterday. I'm not down in the dumps. I think it was the right move. But I just, now looking back, and everything is easier from the cheap seats, Charlie. And the cheap seats tell you that Dame trade was god-awful. And it is leaving residue within this organization for a long time. And I don't know if you can overcome what they're going to have to overcome. It'll be this year. Because Giannis ain't getting younger. I don't know. I am going to be optimistic, and I am going to say, let's go. Let's get this done this year. But realizing this whole thing is very fragile. Like, very fragile.
The Bucks' 2 years with Damian Lillard essentially ended up being what the Brooklyn Nets had for 2 years with their big three. With KD and Kyrie Irving.
No, we didn't even sniff. The guy was a shoelace short of going to an Eastern Conference Finals. We weren't nowhere close to that.
We were in the playoffs with guys hurt, and the collection of
we
the
never
group
made it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
No.
They're a shoelace away from there. How do you even make that comp? And Kyrie Irving was out of the game or could barely play, or James Harden.
That's what I'm saying. Giannis, Dame, and Chris were never healthy at the same time together in the playoffs.
What does that have to do with this year? Neither of those guys are on the team
We can
anymore.
look back now that it's over and say it was an abject failure bringing Dame in for 2 years, but it was the right thing we felt at the time to do then, and we'll never know because
I
it
literally
never
have
came
said
to
that
fruition.
exact same thing, but sports is about results. The process was okay. The results sucked. There's no way of getting around it. And the problem is you haven't even felt any of the pain of what you had to give up yet. Because you're giving up. Nobody would sit here and tell you the Drew Holiday trade was a bust. It worked because you won. And a championship in 50 years, you take it and you'll run with it. This, pretty tough to spin this in a positive way.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia Round 2 is coming up next, presented by Vortex Golf. Wilde and Tausch Trivia Round 2, Wisconsin Geography Wednesday, 844-770-3776. Caller number 12 for Wilde and Tausch Trivia. Caller 12 at 844-770-3776. Riley Auk standing by to take your trivia contestant calls, while Tausch tells us once again about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
And for windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella Experience. The Pella Experience Center will let you see it, feel it, open it, close it, compare dozens of windows and door options, and you can do it all side by side with Pella's 7 different Pella lines. Stop by soon, though, because if you order by July 31st, you get 0 interest for up to 5 years. That's how long we're going to be paying off Dollar Team's contract.
Sure is.
And you'll be paying 0 interest with Pella. Visit the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield or schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions do apply.
12-844-770-3776. Presented by Vortex Golf. Wilde and Tausch Trivia is next.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison. All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Bringing summer gatherings to the next level is just another thing we do at Celebrations Entertainment. Hi, it's Jeffrey. With rental items like sound equipment, photo booths, and even yard games, you can make your event the party that everyone talks about. Any event like graduation parties, block parties, or even a backyard barbecue can be elevated with fun, interactive items to make everyone ask, hey, how'd you pull this off? Just tell them celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see the teams recognized for making a positive impact in the community. It's the Game Changers of the Month, presented by Zimbrick Honda.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
The ESPN Madison Open presented by Coors Light is back. On Monday, August 4th, the ESPN Madison crew is packing their bags and teeing off at TPC, Wisconsin for a day on the links. This year's Open is benefiting Mentoring Positives, a nonprofit based right here in Madison dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. ESPN Madison Open also brought to you by Badgerland Exteriors, Annex Wealth Management, Sunday Paper, Incredible Bank, Borikov Osman LLC, and Retirement Income Strategies.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
Want to move better, play faster, and compete at a higher level?
train where Wisconsin's top athletes go. Total Athlete Performance. From middle school phenoms to the pros, TAP is Madison's #1 destination for speed, power, and athleticism. Their proven systems, expert coaches, and cutting-edge equipment help you dominate your sport. Can't make it in? Train anywhere with the TAP mobile app. Spots are filling fast, so don't wait. Visit tapwisconsin.com to schedule your free athletic assessment today.
Hey Wisconsin, it's construction season and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones in your area. Check 511wi.gov or download the free 511 app to see current road work, closures, detours, and camera views on your route. Wherever your travels take you, know before you go with 511wi.gov. That's 511wi.gov. And remember, know before you go. Always park the phone while driving. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Wilde and Tausch back with you. Jesse and Tausch. Jason has the remaining shows this week off. He will be at Summerfest on Saturday afternoon, State of the Packers show. We're going to play trivia in just a moment here, presented by Vortex Golf. Just a quick housekeeping note. Coming up next, ESPN Madison going to switch over to the Milwaukee Brewers game 1 of the doubleheader today against the New York Mets. So Brewers-Mets coming up next on ESPN Madison. Because of the logistics, the video stream will conclude after this segment today. So the video stream will, sorry for the dwellers on YouTube and everyone watching on social media, YouTube and video stream will conclude after this segment. You can still find us on the ESPN Wisconsin app and, of course, on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. And with that, it is time for round 2 of Wilde and Tausch Trivia, presented by Vortex Golf.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
We welcome in our contestant, Chris in Cedarburg, for round 2 of Wilde and Tausch Trivia today. Chris, how you doing?
I'm good. This is my first time having a Jesse co-hosted trivia segment.
Oh, isn't that lucky for you, Chris? Hopefully it's your lucky day because of it. We'll see how well you fare. Here is question number 1. I wrote these, by the way. Up North Joe got suspended for round 2, so I wrote these ones now. Which lakefront city is home to the Lakeshore Chinooks Northwoods League baseball team, where Alex Strofe threw a terrible first pitch last week? Is it Mequon, Mequonago, or Manitowoc?
Mequon.
That is Mequon. That is correct. I was trying to go with like a baseball pun, and I didn't have a better one than Manitowoc. I'd work on that. Thanks, Kay.
Well, if a contestant from Cedarburg gets Mequon wrong, I should probably just quit.
Call it a day.
That is true. Yep. Question 2, Chris. Latitudinally, which of these Wisconsin cities is located farthest north? Farthest north, Crandon, Crivitz, or Kashina?
Oh, I should know this from the days when my kids played hockey. Crandon, Crivitz, Kashina. I want to go with Crivitz.
Crivitz is pretty far north. But Crandon is further. Crandon, your correct answer there, Chris.
No, I took a wrong turn going up to Eagle River one year and missed and went into Crandon. Yeah, so
that'll happen.
I probably should have known that. Oh, well.
Question 3, Chris. Featured in an article from Travel Wisconsin highlighting 8 Wisconsin 4th of July festivals you should find. The Riverfront Rendezvous at Pfiffner Pioneer Park takes place in which of these Wisconsin cities? Is that in La Crosse, Stevens Point, or Lodi? The Riverfront Rendezvous at Pfiffner Pioneer Park.
La Crosse.
Very confident.
Very wrong. Sorry, Chris. Stevens Point.
Oh,
the
man.
correct answer there. So only one right, but you do get 2 of the possible 4 entries for our Vortex swag bag drawing tomorrow. Chris, we're up against it, so I got to bid you farewell. Thanks for playing, man. Happy 4th of July weekend.
All right. Bye, guys. Happy 4th.
Tausch? Coors
You know
Light.
what makes a happy 4th? A little Coors Light, whether you're tailgating, you're out on a lake, watching fireworks. Coors Light is beautiful with that. It's brewed with a 3-step cold process. It's cold lagered, cold filtered, and it is cold packaged. Make sure those mountains are blue. That's when you know it is chilled to perfection. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company at Golden, Colorado.
On ESPN Madison, Brewers Mets coming your way next. We continue with Whoa Riley on ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Beaver Dam. That's next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable.
Silverado.
Adventurous, fun, techie.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble.
Trax.
Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV. Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues.
Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Summer is here, and there's no better way to celebrate than with Door County Distillery. Hey, it's Alex Stroh. I've been telling you for years how great Door County Distillery is. Locally produced, handcrafted, and award-winning spirits.